Oh, yeah. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday to you, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Let's get our heads right on a Friday. I'm glad the weekend is here. We got 4 hours left to entertain all of you guys out there, and I love how active you are already in the chat. Everyone's here and ready to go. Here we are now. Entertain us is what our tier ones say to us every morning, and we're going to do our best. Today's going to be a little bit nuts. I'll set the menu in the next segment, but I'll just tell you right now, it's going to be a little bit bananas, a lot of moving parts and whatnot. But it's great to be here. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Rhino. He's the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
How am I? I'm sick of myself. Yeah. Is how I am. I am absolutely exhausted with the sound of my own voice, and my brain is mush. Paulie texted me last night. He said, so we got AJ Preller coming on at 8. Any idea where you want to go with him? I'll get some stuff down. I'll write it down on paper for you tomorrow. I go, I have no idea. It's 8 o'clock.
Good talk.
Yeah. I go, it's 8 o'clock. My brain is absolute mush. I mean, Paulie, I couldn't think of one question. Now, some have come to me, after a little bit of a rest and reset.
Oh, send them over. I'll write them down for you.
I think I have them upstairs. I'm not sure. But I'm more of I just like to have a conversation with AJ Preller. Now, he's not the easiest to have a conversation with, so hopefully he's in a fine mood this morning.
Guys.
Good morning, AJ. I'm looking forward to talking to you at 8 a.m. Yeah, I'm sure you are as well. If I had to guess, I'm sure you're elated to talk to Woodsy and Paul today. But I'm tired of myself, Paulie. I have just too much me in my life right now. I need to go away for a weekend. I don't hear the sound of my own voice. I don't want to talk to anyone.
Silence.
Left here, went to the round table, which I had a lot of fun on yesterday. Tony Gwynn Jr. was on fire.
Love that.
Adam did give me permission to replay the round table this morning. So we'll see you guys in an hour. Love you very much. We'll be right back. No, I told him I couldn't in good conscience do that to the tier ones. Not that the round table is bad content. It's not. It was really good. We had a fun show. But I would feel like I gave up. I would. Yeah. I'm tired. I don't,
23 hours later.
Yes, dude. I would really. He's like, I'm just telling you. Thanks
for the permission.
That you guys can if you want to. I go, yeah, all right. Like, I think you offered me that because damn well I'm not going to do it. Right. Damn well I'm not going to replay that round table in the morning. I'm not giving up my 6 o'clock hour for anything. You know it. And I'm not. How about this, Adam? I'll make you a deal. How about we play it at 9 and walk out of here at Friday at 9 a.m.?
Right.
Exactly. Not such a great idea right now, is it? So I didn't want to do that to the tier ones. And, I told them, I said, I'd rather have a really bad first hour than replay the round table, my friend. Everybody in the chat is talking about the news that broke yesterday, and we will absolutely get there. Kyle Hart being optioned down to AAA. I wore my El Paso Chihuahua shirt, not really in his honor, but that's where he'll be heading. Look, I don't want to celebrate that at all because I don't know what the corresponding move is. We were going to ask AJ Preller about that, and we'll get after that and kind of figure out what they want to do. My guess is it's going to be like Omar Cruz or Stephen Kolek or something. So yeah, man, they're going to send him down, have him work on some stuff. Again, we talked about it a little bit on the roundtable yesterday. We talked about it with Jake Garriani, who came in from CBS 8, who had a chance to interview Kyle. It's tough. Yeah. You hate to see that happen to a dude that has had such a tough road to get to the show. And
there's also the total possibility that there's nothing he could have done better.
Yeah, correct.
And it still just would have been, you look at the off days ahead and you're like, all right, maybe they can get creative with the rotation here. And they're just going to, they don't want to burn him out or something.
Whatever.
Like, it may not have anything to do with his last start.
Correct.
Or any concerns that they have or anything like that.
But it also might. And, so we'll ask AJ about that. I got people asking what happened to Candlegate yesterday when we went to our marriage counseling. I had people text me going, man, she really got mad at you for lighting a candle. I said, it wasn't mad. She was just flummoxed by the fact that I would light a candle in our home. And it was a special candle that she'd never lit. And I lit it. And then she got a little bit upset with it. And this morning, by the way, we lit it together symbolically before I left. Yeah, before we left. So she did lay on the sword in therapy when I brought that up. I said she's been a little bit out of it lately. and here's a fine example. And she said, okay, yeah, that's a little odd. And it's nice. It's nice to have a little backup. Then I got my turn on the skewer as well and got roasted up real good. But it was a good day. Just a lot. It was just a lot, man, of me. My kids got home. You know, they were actually really good. They were chill. They wanted to watch a movie. Bo wanted to watch the draft. So we watched some of the draft last night. So it was really chill. But you know what I'm staring down the barrel of. You know what tomorrow is.
I forgot until I remembered. Why don't you remind all of our listeners what you'll be up to tomorrow?
My missus, Hannah Volin told me that I have to be the MC for the fundraiser for my son's elementary school. And you're
a popular person. You're good at talking. You're a broadcaster. Yeah, it makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a radio personality, right? emceeing
an event, hosting an event, that is a very normal thing for a radio broadcaster to do.
I would have liked,
especially for charity.
I would have liked in the future to just attend. I like to attend things. Oh, I don't. But if I have to go, please don't make me work. It's already a lot to ask me to go to actually on a Saturday night, put on clothes, go somewhere when I could be sitting at home on my ass watching a baseball game. It's already enough. And now you say, not only do you have to go, guess what? You got to work. You're working. Yeah. You're working this event. It's actually, no, you get paid for work. You're volunteering at this.
I felt that last fall. Had to go to a wedding up in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Got to go to a wedding. In Palm Springs. But I didn't have to be a part of the bridal party. Like the last 4 weddings I had been to, I was in the wedding.
The groom's party. It'd be weird if you were part of the bridal party.
Don't they call it?
I don't know. I thought that was for the bride.
I thought the bridal party.
You're a groomsman.
Yeah, but I thought the bridal party was
maybe you're right.
Both.
You might be right.
But the last 4 weddings, I was in the wedding. I had to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Megan sits by herself
or
with some friends in the crowd. For her. I've got to do photos and I got to do setups and all that stuff. And so the last wedding that we went to, I had nothing to do with it whatsoever. I got to just go and attend and drink and hang out and have some fun. And we're like, this is how it goes. I'm like, nobody ever asked me to be a part of your wedding ever again. Ever.
Yeah. And for this, I'll
give you 2 gifts.
I'm, look, when she told me you're doing it, I said, oh, okay. All right. I mean, what do? You say, all right, I'll go do it. This thing's 4 hours long. Starts at 5. And Paulie, as I mentioned before, if you missed this, the theme for the night is coastal country. So, I mean, I don't know what I have jeans, I have a pearl snap shirt.
What is coastal country? Like flip flops with your cowboy hat?
Probably have no idea.
I'm legitimately asking.
So was I. I have no.
Western night. Okay, got it.
If you called it
cowboy
Western
night,
yeah, cowboy night. Coastal country, he really throws a monkey wrench in there.
Are you going to get a mullet, a fake mullet?
I don't know what. I mean, I have what I'm wearing, but I don't know if it's sufficient. I have no idea. So I'm doing that tomorrow night. Here's the other issue. So I got an email from the people that are organizing it, and they sent me a very rudimentary schedule from 5 to 9. So 5 to 6:30. Guest arrival, drinks, food, music, raffle, silent auction. 6:30, silent auction ends. 6:45 to 7, raffle winners to be announced. 7 to 7:20, casual line dancing lesson taught by some moms. And then 7:20 to 9, DJ and dancing. And then it was a little bit more detailed. They have a magician that's coming up, so I'll have to intro him. But then they asked me if I have my own PA. I don't have my own PA. I'm not a traveling host. So I said, I'm going to need a PA, please. And then I wrote back last Friday.
Making all your demands.
I said, is there a script that I'll be working off of? And they haven't responded. So
they need a car to pick me up.
Well,
internal temperature of 70 degrees.
A low riding sedan.
A lower entry sedan.
So I'm going to that. There's a better than decent possibility, Paulie, that I spend my Friday night tonight watching the Padres and punching up a script for myself, right? Like getting the sponsors and stuff in. I really have no idea what this
Well, this is a great way to get started. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family.
That's coastal country. That's how you do coastal country.
I'm here with my family.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
We are so excited to be in the great state
of California. It's such a blessing to be here with y'all tonight. I'm so happy. I'm a coastal country cowboy. I don't know what to do. So that's a 4-hour gig tomorrow night, Paulie. That's what I'll be doing on my Saturday night. Or I could do it in full Schilt voice. Hey, cuz, how y'all doing? It's old Shilty. Why didn't they have Schilt do this? I guess he has a game to manage, but I feel like he's more of a coastal cowboy than I am. Is he not?
Yes.
So I just, man, I don't know. I don't have a big belt buckle. I don't have boots. My boots are like, they're not boots. They're just like little short boots. I have a feeling I'm not going to like the music at all. I thought my opening line might be, hey, everybody, make some noise if you like Morgan Wallen. And the whole place will rip up in applause. And I'll be like, security, can you escort all of them out of here so we can get this party?
Now, this isn't a roast.
Yeah, I know. It's not a roast. I can't get in there.
You just go up there and start insulting
hey,
people.
How you doing? God, you look pathetic right now. Sucks, dude. Hannah goes, you're literally from Texas, living on the coast. I know.
You are a coastal cowboy.
You couldn't find less of a cowboy than me. You couldn't if you tried. Take the cow. I'm a boy for sure. That's it. That's as close as I get. I am no freaking cowboy. So can't wait to tell you guys how that went. Now, from what I understand, too, I've never been to one of these fundraisers, Paulie. You know how parents get on a night out. They get nuts. And so I heard it gets wild, like wild there. Parents are out. They got a few hours to kill. Now I'm going to be working. So and we got a game early as hell on Sunday morning. So I'm teetotaling this thing, dude. I'm white knuckling it, teetotaling the whole bit. And but I just wonder how wild this thing's going to get. I mean, I've heard of all kinds of stories from other schools. I've heard some really crazy stories. So I'll fill you guys in on Monday.
I can't wait.
Steve says, is there a live cast for this event? I got $5 to kick in for the virtual peanut gallery. I will do you guys a favor and post a picture of my coastal country outfit before I go in tomorrow. But, man, we got such a good show for you today. Quickly, Paulie, I'd like to give a shout out real quick. Our buddy, Jojo Tarantino, who works for the San Diego Padres, he lives in Arizona and works at the facility. He has been our friend and a tier one.
He's been part of the Padres since like the 90s.
He has been there forever.
He was a bat boy.
Yeah, dude. Jojo
has worked all the way up.
Jojo is the GOAT. And he texted us yesterday and asked if we'd be willing to congratulate his son, Chase Tarantino, today. He's nominated as a finalist for Best Supporting Male for the ASU High School Theater Awards for his role as Squidward. They listen to the show on the way to school. He only hears the first segment. Chase, congratulations to you. Jojo, got to be very proud, dude. Jojo is like the nicest guy. And Chase, I wouldn't do this for everyone, but your dad has massaged my groin in ways that I never thought were imaginable. He's got magic hands, your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Magic hands. His hands have been all over me at fantasy camp. So, Jojo, anything for you and anything for Chase. We love you guys. Congratulations to you. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. What a
Congratulations, bud.
Such a good dude and good family. Love that guy. Man, I'm so excited to get this thing going today. We will talk some Padres baseball. We will talk some SDFC with our pal Darren Smith. I'm supposed to do this in the next segment, but this feels more natural to me. Let's do it here.
You know what? Do it here. And then
I know what to do in the next segment.
We're going to have some fun in the next segment.
We're going to, if you missed it late in the show on
Wednesday,
we're going to replay Ben's prank calls because this dude, and I want to talk about Ben and his social media strategy.
People were asking for it yesterday that missed it on Wednesday or wanted to hear it again.
Yeah.
We were it was rails off yesterday.
I'm gonna
it's gonna be rails off today, so we're gonna get to it early before all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had it ready to go yesterday. I totally forgot to do it, which I've been known to do from time to time. So excited to get this thing going on a Friday. Thanks for being here. We will be right back. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing
Normally we set the menu here. I can do it quickly. Our pal Julian Delgatoio coming in from Fox 5 at 7 a.m. Going to hang out with us just like Jake did yesterday. It's Ben's competition. We'll see who's the best, basically, is what that is. The great Darren Smith will be joining us. We don't know if it's going to be over Zoom yet or if it's going to be just on the phone at 7:35. And then we'll be joined by the president of baseball operations of the San Diego Padres, Mr. A.J. Preller himself. And then at 9, I'm very excited about this.
This is awesome.
Had a long conversation with him yesterday. Carlos Quentin, former Padre, is going to be coming in, talking about something that he's working on for youth sports. And really, stuck baseball with Carlos Quentin. I love that man. I love him.
So when I told my wife yesterday that Carlos Quentin was coming in studio,
She lose her mind?
He was so nice.
Yeah, he's the
She
best.
goes, now, wasn't he like known for like fighting somebody? And
Yeah, Zach
that's
Greinke.
probably what he's known for.
Yeah.
At least best here in San Diego. Padres, Dodgers. God, what was that? Like 10 years ago now.
Yeah,
And he
more,
charged
probably.
him out, and he broke Greinke's collarbone,
Yeah.
and really kind of kicked his ass.
Yep.
And I go, there's got to be like the connection of how nice somebody is versus how bad of a thing or how violent of a thing that they're known for. There can't be anybody better. Like, he is the nicest, sweetest guy, and yet he's known for like this violent act.
He
on a
is.
baseball
I mean,
field.
to talk to him yesterday about some of the challenges that he's faced as coaching his kid and all that, and some of the challenges these kids are facing. I'm so excited for you guys to hear about what he's working on. And I downloaded it last night. Bo and I messed around with it before he went to bed. It's awesome. It is awesome.
Nice.
And I think every parent of a child out there is going to really like it. And honestly, whether they play sports or not, it's so beneficial. And I think this thing is a really, really good idea. And he's really passionate about it, as am I. And I know a lot of the tier ones are as well. And any chance to get Carlos Quentin in studio, I'm here for it. So, man, we have, like I said, today is going to be honestly drinking from a fire hose. We have so much to get to. Elton John tickets, our last day of giving away Elton John tickets.
Big one.
You're going to hear this sounder at some point during the show.
Not right now.
Not
Don't call
now.
right now.
Don't call right now.
But the next time you hear this,
Blue eyes.
That's it. You will call and you'll win tickets to a pair of tickets to Elton John Curebound concert for Cures at Petco Park on May 9th. Proceeds from the show go towards cancer research in San Diego, and this will be Elton's only planned U.S. appearance this year. See Ticketmaster.com for details. That is a funny clip, and it's an old throwback to the very first radio show I was on. Our host used to do that all the time. Blue eyes. It's so good. So it definitely brings back some good memories on a Friday.
I wonder if that's on the playlist, on the set list.
Guaranteed. I went in yesterday, Paulie, after counseling, after going to hit with our buddy Boggsy. I went in to get my my body work that I go. My buddy in Oceanside, Chris, Resolve Sports Therapy. He's a wizard. If you got sore quads and knees, whatever, he just gets in there and just.
I have a sore left knee.
He's got you, dude. He has got you. The guy's he's unbelievable. So I lay down and he starts grinding on my quad, and he goes, "I was dying when I heard Ben's prank call." He goes, "But I caught it like right at the end." And I go, "Oh, well, then I will replay it for you tomorrow." Anytime Ben goes out of town, Paulie and I are working. We know when he's going out of town, right? So we work for.
These are annual trips.
It's like we work for like a month in advance to collect little nuggets, and then we can use them in prank calls. Here's all that we've done on all of his trips.
Oh, you want them all?
Yeah, give him.
You want them all?
If that works,
I can do
does that
that.
work for you?
Yeah,
I
give
mean,
me
we're
1
going to run a
second.
little late in the segment, but I don't
fine.
care.
Let's see. We had here's 2 more. We had so his July trip that he takes every year. We called Another Broken Egg.
Yes.
In Fairhope, Alabama. How we found them, I don't know.
Thank you for calling Another Broken Egg in Fairhope. This is Marissa. How can I help you?
Good morning. I'm excited.
For what?
What was the score of the Aztecs game?
Oh, I don't really watch sports.
The first half, the Aztecs dominated. Maybe the best half they've played all season. I got called out by my 19-year-old last night.
You got what?
I got called out.
Oh.
To choose, though, Reese Kinnear as the person to set the tone in your game, to me, is an indictment of a couple of things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't follow.
How is it hanging?
Oh my God.
I like good, firm banana.
Yeah. She's like, what is happening? Poor
The
girl.
Lakers shot 57% as a team and still lost that game.
And
It's just,
that poor girl.
it's just-
We called her back.
We called her back and
immediately. We're like,
apologized.
we are so
We're
sorry.
terrorizing her.
And then this was a year ago yesterday on his Las Vegas trip. We decided to call a local gentleman's establishment
This
in the Las Vegas area.
This is unbelievable.
Thanks for calling Put Against Sam. Shanna speaking.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I was disappointed with last night.
What happened?
You could see it all falling apart right there on the stage.
Oh
it
my
was
God.
horrible.
What was he even talking about
I
to
don't
pull
know.
that?
Okay.
I'm going to need at least a couple of $100 bills.
Is this a joke?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Would you like to speak with the manager?
I know that the Lakers aren't going to win the championship. They're probably going to lose to Denver anyway.
We had her tickled.
Okay.
We had her tickled.
I like
dude.
watching LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Yeah, I know you do, man. You can't stop talking
And then
about
she
it.
hung up. So
Oh God.
then earlier in the week, you and I went to the Beat Laboratory.
Yep.
And we were cooking. We were cooking.
We were cooking.
We have collected so many drops over the last couple of months.
Weed. It was all
all centered around Ben and his marijuana addiction.
Yes.
And we called 4 or 5
Four, yeah.
different dispensaries all across the country. And this is what it gave us.
How can I help you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Where could I find some marijuana?
You should be okay.
Loose cannabis?
Hi there. How can I help?
I don't even have a vape pen.
This sounds automated.
Loose cannabis? Ganja, a.k.a. cannabis.
That's it. Done. He's done.
Ganja, aka cannabis.
Can I help you?
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm not a drug dealer. Good morning.
Hello?
Spliff a bus at enemy head.
Bueno?
Wait a
Everybody must get stoned.
That was it.
How can I help you?
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Where could I find some marijuana?
Right here.
Where can you find some marijuana?
Where could I find some marijuana? Ganja, a.k.a. cannabis.
At our dispensary?
I like a blunt or a big fat bowl.
We have blunts here.
That's my
Okay,
favorite.
now you're talking.
Now you're talking.
How can I help you?
I don't even have a vape pen.
Right.
Hey, how's it going?
Uncomfortable.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm not a drug dealer.
Okay.
I love the cocaine. Cocaine.
Okay.
I got her. I love that.
Spliff a
line.
bus at enemy head.
And
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning, how can I help you?
Where could I find some marijuana?
It's so good. It's so good.
The address should be right next to the phone number that you reached us at.
I was using my vape pen last night, and it was great.
Okay.
All right.
okay.
All right.
Thanks for telling me.
Let's smoke that bowl, hit that bong.
This is a prank call, but you really have nothing better to do.
You
You're
got
kind
us.
of a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are kind of losers, and but that brought me so much delight, Paulie.
Ooh.
I'm already looking forward to Ben's next vacation to figure out what vertical we can go in next time.
So many choices.
So many choices and so many vacations, and
we
Yeah.
had blunts.
he hasn't heard it yet. I'm assuming.
I haven't sent it to him. I don't think he's been listening.
Well, I don't think so either. But his social strategy since he's been on vacation, as I mentioned yesterday, is a little bit odd. He did post the hats that they were wearing. And then yesterday, he posted a picture of their scorecard.
Well, again, he hadn't posted anything until you texted and be like, hey, post
something on social media. So we have
something to work with.
Yeah, give me something to work with, and we can update, people on what you're doing and how you're doing. So he posted yesterday just the scorecard before his round with his name on it. All right. So
still haven't seen where he's at.
No.
What it looks like.
Not a picture of the course.
Nothing.
Then after that, he posted the whiteboard with his name on it. And what I've realized is that he really likes taking pictures of things that have his name on it. And that's all that he's posted. Nothing on Twitter. No Twitter whatsoever. 3 pictures on Instagram, the hats we wore, the scorecard, and the whiteboard with my name on it. That is all he's posted. Again, from this stunning, beautiful golf course in, beautiful Las Vegas, out in the desert.
Right.
I want to
stunning.
I want to see what you're working with here, Benny. And nothing yet. He did text me a very detailed round summary yesterday. He played very well. He shot a 74. He wanted everybody to know, but they still lost. He believes that the guys he's playing against were sandbagging their handicap. He's not happy about it.
Oh boy.
He's going to give us a shot-by-shot recap on Monday. I miss him, and I can't wait to hear it. So
we got to, from now on, only get him things with his name on it.
That's exactly right. So he can just take a picture of it and post it for all to see. So yeah, Benny will be back Monday, but the show is about to go to the next level. We got Julian Delgatoio coming in just a little bit. He just texted us, Paulie. I didn't see what he said, but yeah, he will be in from Fox 5.
So he's on his way.
Okay, good. He'll be hanging out with us. Darren Smith, AJ Preller, Carlos Quentin.
What a lineup.
It's going to be a fun one. Somebody tweeted yesterday, do you guys only try when Ben's out of town? I go, that criticism stings, but it's also very fair.
I mean, they're good guests, but when was the last time we had 4 guests on a show?
It's been a long time.
It's been months, I would guess.
It has been a long time.
Outside of fantasy camp, spring training.
And I'll be honest with you, I needed the crutch, and I'm not embarrassed to admit. If I break my leg,
I think
I'm not going to hobble around on a broken leg. You know what I need? I need a crutch. Give me a crutch.
To say, do you guys only try? That would mean no guests, and we put in the effort on a ton of creative segments.
Exactly. I feel like more guests is trying
That's
less.
The opposite.
I feel like the same thing. I feel like the exact same thing. All right, we will be right back. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Welcome back, Ben Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Happy Friday to you. Benny is on vacation. He'll be back Monday. Looking forward to having him back. Can't wait to hear how his trip went. I wonder if they got a little wild at all, or is it just been straight up golf?
By wild, you mean like
I wonder if they went out at all.
Scrabble party.
Had a little wine, had some, I bet they had some good food. I was just talking to
Where's
a buddy.
He at? Like they
He's
live in Henderson.
In
right?
Henderson, yeah. There's a really cool casino out there called Green Valley Ranch. It's one of the coolest places I've ever been, but it's way off the scene in Vegas, which is good.
Okay, yeah, I've always heard of Henderson. I never looked. It only looks like it's like 20 minutes like off the strip and the airport there.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's having a great time. This is ideal for him. And it's funny. As I sit here, I'm like, man, you didn't go out and get wild. I probably wouldn't have either. I was talking to my buddy that just got back from his bachelor party. Now he's like 52. He's never been married. Went to his bachelor party, the one I was supposed to go to in Florida, but I had the Seals game, right? So I was talking to him and he gave me the play-by-play. Dude, it's 12 guys. Those dudes were in bed by 10:30 every single night. And I wanted to make fun of them. I go, I don't blame you. I don't blame you even a little bit. That's exactly what I would have done to it at almost 50. Like those days, I can't tell you the last time I've seen midnight. I cannot tell you. I mean, especially going out or anything like that. I just can't tell you. I mean, even if I do go out, I'm home by 10:30. Like that's the max I can even stay awake. So I don't blame him at all. If he just wanted to go chill, eat good food, drink some wine, play some Scrabble with his buddy.
Now, I'm looking
and play
at a
some
map
golf.
of Henderson, Nevada. I don't remember exactly the name of the golf course that he's at, but I do see that, there's a lot of casinos out there. You don't have to go to the strip or anything like that. Now, there is, maybe this is what Ben did, Cowabunga Bay Water Park.
Ooh, riding down the slides. Not the worst idea. I would like to do that as a show at some point.
Done.
I would like to do that in a heartbeat. and that's something
Get
we
Ben
would
on one of those straight
down.
drops.
Yeah. That's the only thing in my life, Paulie, that I have that I remember when Ben told the story when he went skiing with his dad and he got halfway down and he crashed and he goes, I'm not doing this. And he had to walk down with his skis. His dad had to carry his skis. My dad wasn't at Wet and Wild that day, but there's a shame that I felt when I was probably 10, 11. I walked to the top of this slide. It was called Der Stuka, and it was straight down. Walked to the top, looked at it, walked back down.
I did the exact same thing.
It was
probably right around the same age, about 10 years old. I was starting to cry.
Yeah.
So to avoid
your buddies
crying,
laughing at you and crying.
I walked all the way to the top. I think I was the last one to go because I was by myself at the top. I mean, there was a line of people behind me. I looked down. I said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
There is no chance I'm getting on this slide. And I turned around and I walked all the way down the stairs.
Yeah.
And as I was walking down, random guys were like, oh, you chickening out? And I said, I'm not tall enough.
You're joking.
I was
Oh my
totally
God.
tall enough. It was the only thing I could think of to not look like a huge wimp. They said, "Oh, you have to be this tall," and I just putting my hand over. You got to be this tall.
Bro, it's funny. That was probably 25 years ago for you.
Yeah,
mine was probably 40 years ago. I think about it all the time. You walked down from the top rope.
Yeah.
Essentially, you got up.
Probably one of the more humiliating things I've ever done. When I look back at my life, I'm like, yeah, that was really bad.
I've taken some walks of shame in my life. Believe you me.
Right.
Believe you me. Nothing comes close to that one. The Stuka. I'll never forget it. Wet and Wild, Arlington, Texas. All my buddies did it, and I got I just go, I'm not doing it.
I don't remember the slide. It was probably the death slide
Yeah.
or something, but Wild Waves in Federal Way, Washington.
Devil's butt. Yeah, it's just like, forget it. Forget, I'm not doing it. And I think about it all the time and the shame that I still feel about it. But I'm not ashamed at all of our San Diego Padres. I'm very happy with the way that they've been playing. Do we have traffic or anything we need to do?
We do have traffic.
All right, let's get to
For you.
traffic. Let's talk some Padres baseball. Little pitching matchup action tonight. Should be a good one at Petco Park. We'll be right back after traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Sedano Ford. Spring deals are on now. Visit SedanoFord.com for details. Lots of good news around the county, guys. Tow truck cleared that crash near the border, northbound 5 before Dairy Mart Road, and that overturn crash has cleared west 78 at the southbound 5 connector. Spring is here, and so are the savings at Manny Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Get employee pricing on select models like the 2025 Ford Maverick, just $219 a month, tariff-free. Visit SedanoFord.com for complete details. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends June 14th. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays coming into town tonight, Paulie. They've won 2 in a row, and they're that team. They're 11-14. They're 4th in their division. And you look at it and you go, all right, well, they have to be having a really terrible season. There's something amiss with the Tampa Bay Rays. Here's the funny part. I heard the other day somebody said, oh, I mean, look, their offense is not great. It's eerily similar to the offense of our San Diego Padres. Eerily. I mean, we're hitting 263 as a team. They're hitting 255. Our OBP as a team is 333. Theirs is 321. Our slugging is 401. There's 397. Our OPS is 734. Theirs is 718. I mean, these teams are
Sounds like we're just a little bit better.
Just a little bit
but
better.
Yes, very, very comparable.
As far as it's almost a mirror image. And they're coming in again, a little minor hot streak. They won 2 straight, but Shane Baz is going to take he's going to toe the slab at Petco tonight. And Shane is a tough customer. He's 2-0, 4 starts so far. He's got a 3.22 ERA. He throws his fastball about 45% of the time. It's very fuzzy. Touches 97. He works it kind of up and into the righties, away from the lefties. Kind of the nightmare for a hitter.
Yeah, that's nasty.
It touches 97, usually sits around 95. He's got a very nasty curveball. He uses that about 30% of the time. He's got a changeup. He's got a slider. He's a 4-pitch pitcher, and he's pretty dirty. Now, the thing with Shane Baz, if you're going to get to him, I would guess, and I know nothing, but this is just my educated guess. Looking at the numbers, you have to get to him early because this dude, after the 4th inning, doesn't give up runs at all. He gets better as he pitches into the 6th and into the 7th, which he's pitched 6 innings, 7 innings, 6 innings, and then his last start was his worst. Only 3 1/3 against the Yankees, 5 earned runs, 4 walks. He lost the plot there a little bit, but he has dominated. He dominated the Red Sox. He dominated the Angels. He is a nasty, nasty cat. He will give up the long ball. He's given up a home run in every start but 1 this season. So again, if you get to Shane Baz, you got to do it early. Again, he's not allowed to run after the fourth inning of any of his 4 starts this year. So I think the plan of attack with Shane Baz is to come out tonight. Top of the order, they're going to be swinging. That's my guess. They are going to be hunting that fastball that he throws 45% of the time, and they're going to try to get barrel on it and maybe hit it out of the ballpark. Tonight would be the best time for the Padres to finally hit a 3-run homer. I believe Chris Ello said yesterday we were the last team in baseball to not have a 3-run homer or a grand slam this year. So
makes sense. Hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
But that sounds about right.
And I look, they're not good on the road. They haven't been good on the road. They're 2 and 4 on the road. They're 4 and 6 in their last 10. Is this a beatable team? Absolutely. It's a beatable team. 100%. They've got guys.
Sending a pretty good guy in Michael King out there.
And you got Michael King on the bump tonight for the San Diego Padres, who's been fantastic. He's going to be fired up, ready to go. But man, the similarities of this team to ours is really, really nuts. Pretty good at preventing runs. They just haven't won. The games.
It's interesting that we're so comparable, and
I know
we are 17-8, and they are 11-14.
Yep. And they 12-1 for the Padres at Petco Park. Obviously, a big home field advantage. I know that the Friar faithful are going to be out there tonight in droves, as they always are. It's a Friday night. You said you're going tonight.
I'll be there tonight.
Not a boy, dude. Sitting in the Odyssey seats?
Yeah, we got work seats. We're in the 200 level.
All right.
On the third base side.
Good for you guys, man.
Tonight,
What's the bit tonight? Is there a
City Connect?
City Connect?
Yeah. I don't think there's any other
like a party in the park or anything.
I think they do that. Yeah, every
beer
Friday
fest
night
or something.
It's either party in the park or beer fest or tequila fest or something.
I do. I'm unable on a Friday to muster the energy to go out on a Friday night after a long week. I would love to go to that Sunday game after our game. I have not been to Petco Park since opening day. I've not been one time. We haven't gone down at all to talk to the fellas. Haven't been to the clubhouse. We went to the suite. Yeah, that's right. Went to the suite. But I haven't gone like with my family, taking the kids yet.
Right.
But I want to get down there at some point. Maybe Sunday is the day after our game. That's always a tough one too. But man, it should be a really, really good series. And again, one of those series that you feel like, yeah, we need to win this. We need to win it.
Especially when you look at, you're sending out King, Cease, and Vasquez.
Yeah.
You're expecting to win this series.
That's exactly right. And it's, Dylan Cease staying, I guess, on track, building off of his last start, which was a really, really good one. Their offense, you look at them and they don't terrify you. They got Junior Caminero, who's been really, really good for them. He is the guy that loves Manny Machado. That's his favorite player. They do the jersey exchange. He's going to be excited to get in here and get to hang with Manny for sure. But yeah, man, there's a couple guys in their lineup. Now, I heard a rumor yesterday that Ha-Seong Kim may be with the team. I'm not sure. I thought he was still injured, but he potentially could be making his appearance. At least maybe he's here on the bench. I have no idea. But he could.
I mean, it's not uncommon for injured players to travel with the team still. Joe's gone with everybody on every trip, and he ain't pitching anytime soon.
It'd be
Ha-Seong
cool.
Kim was rumored to come back in May anyways, so I could see him being with the team.
Yeah, it would be cool to see Ha-Seong Kim tonight come out, give a little curtain call for the fans, because I know he's still very beloved here. But yeah, man, they got a first baseman that's really good, Jonathan Aranda. He's having a really good start to his season. So yeah, man. But other than that, you look at it and you go, oh, okay. Cameron Misner and Jose Caballero and Chandler Simpson and Coco Montes and Curtis Mead and a bunch of guys. They seem to do this every single year where they find a team that's very competitive and they do it for $77. They do it every year.
Right.
And then again, guys in the bullpen, I've never heard of half these guys. I have. I mean, Pete Fairbanks, who, hopefully you don't see him because that means they're trying to close down a win. Hunter Big, Garrett Clevenger, I've heard of, Mason Englert. Watch all these guys come in slinging 97 with disgusting movement. So this is what the Tampa Bay Rays are. Get to Shane Baz early tonight, and you can actually go out and win a ball game at home, which you need to do.
More worried about our bats versus Shane Baz than how Michael King will do against that line.
I know. I feel the same.
I know what to expect out of Michael King. Now, he could have an off game for sure, can the Padres offense withstand that? We'll find out. But I don't expect Michael King to ever have a bad game.
No, I kind of feel the same way.
Like I expect him to dominate.
It should
pretty
be
much every time out.
It should be an awesome one tonight. There's a couple other really good games in Major League Baseball we'll talk about too. But Julian Delgatoio from Fox 5 come in. We'll talk about all this. Some NFL draft coming up next. Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Friday. Welcome back, Ben and Woods 97.3. The Fan. Lovely to be here with all of you guys out there. And we're joined by a very special in-studio guest. We're calling this segment Ben's Competition. Julian Delgatoio from Fox 5 joins us. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
Welcome
Thank you
in.
so much. Thank you. I can't believe I'm doing this. I think you should call the show Blank and Woods.
Blank and Woods. Yes, I like that too.
So
I like that
get a
too.
little scratch of that.
How are things for you?
Doing well. I gotta say, I was telling Paul on the ride up here, like it's amazing how early you guys have to wake up and do all this stuff. I had so much anxiety last night. I woke up at 4. I woke up at 5. I had this impending doom that I was just going to be so late to this for whatever reason.
Welcome to my literal nightmare, man. Honestly, you'd think after 15 years doing morning, I've never done another shift. Really, I filled in on other shifts, but the actual shift, you think that it would get easier. It never gets easier.
Never get used to it.
You never get used to it.
I have to say too, like Padre games that go late, you go into extra innings and stuff like
Buddy.
that. Not that you wouldn't,
Buddy.
cheer for good baseball, but that's got to be.
When they had the 7-10 starts and those games with no pitch clock,
It was brutal.
and Chris Paddock's walk in the yard, and you're just going, it's 11. I'm gonna die. And you have to stay up and finish. There's been a couple that I've nodded off there, and I wake up in the morning. I'm like, what happened?
Even the post game too, though. You want
and
to
I want to see Schulte. Yes,
everything
that's
else
the worst. When something crazy happens,
Yes.
or there's an ejection or an injury, I'm like, I gotta find out what Schulte has to say, and I'm like, I gotta wait another 15 minutes.
I know. You just want to die.
I have such you mentioned the pitch clock and everything else because it's such a love-hate for me. You go to a game on a Friday night, obviously you want to have a good time, you want to be there a while, you want to interact with the fans, and then when you're working the game of sorts, it's really nice to get off a little bit earlier.
Let's go.
Ball game going. I need the story due at 6:00, so it's back and forth for me. But so excited to be here, guys. I know I keep saying that, but I really think you guys are so elite class on what this entire market needs.
Thank you, buddy.
Your insight and everything else.
That's why we have these guys in.
Yeah.
They just compliment us.
Ben
We
say
don't
that.
get it enough.
Yeah,
I
we don't get it from Ben, that's for
We
sure.
you definitely don't get it from Ben. And tier ones are pretty good about it, but no, we appreciate it, man. It's such a. Have you ever done radio before?
Yeah, so I started in Reno, Nevada.
Nice.
And we used to do an ESPN radio show up there for about 2 hours every Friday. And I was so nervous the first time I got on radio. I feel like I don't have any tape from it at all. So there's no record of my voice cracking or, being afraid and not knowing what to do and what to say and all that other stuff. So it's really nice to kind of do radio again for the first time in like 5 years.
It's such a different scene than TV. I mean, it's just so different. And I hate doing TV. I get so nervous. I hate the way I look on camera. And Paulie has shoved the camera right in my face for the last year or so, maybe 2. And I am in awe that when I watch Ben on the news and just how polished and professional, and you and Jake we had in yesterday, it's incredible.
That's the biggest difference. Is everything is so short.
Yes.
Condensed.
Yes.
You got to time it all out perfectly.
Yeah.
You could take an 8-minute interview, trim it down to 30 seconds.
That's exactly
Whereas
right.
We're the exact opposite.
We're
we have
like
a
stretch.
let it
4-hour
breathe.
canvas.
Yes.
And
No,
we're just like, we'll get to it. We'll get to
Yeah,
it.
we'll get
Don't
there.
worry. We'll get to
We'll
it.
be there. We'll be there eventually. No, a TV is its own monster, though. I feel like there's so much anxiety and adrenaline that goes into the launch of all that stuff. But I feel like radio is really the final frontier of true sports broadcasting, diving into the X's and O's, talking, what works, what doesn't, and really getting to know players on such a different level. Because, we're always searching for that 30, 45-second soundbite. And if it goes longer than that, you're fighting to editors.
You're
like,
dying.
hey, please, this is really good. You got to do.
Got to leave it in. Is that something that is a common thing for you? Having to so you have editors, they take what you give them and they go, I'm gonna change. That would make me nuts. To have somebody red penning my stuff, it would make me nuts.
Yeah, it's my own doing too, because they give me, when I report, 2 minutes, like a hard 2 minutes. 2:05 is me asking for
That's
whatever.
an
extra 5 seconds.
5 seconds, please. We're on for 10 hours a day. What's 5 extra seconds of something like this?
We complained to our boss for 5 extra minutes. Hey, I know we're supposed to break at this time. Can we go 5 extra minutes?
Yeah.
Because we got a great interview.
That's
or we're
exactly
talking
right.
about something fun or whatever.
Yeah,
5 seconds.
And you're trying to do a 30 for 30 sometimes with, you get the coach of something and then you get the AD of something else. And you're trying to do this breakout thing, and that can be its own separate entity. But then you take, let's say, 3 total minutes to tell a story, but you're only given 4 at 10 o'clock.
Right.
And there's Padres to talk about. There's other stuff, the bigger stories of the day. Maybe something breaks around 9 or 10 o'clock. So it's a juggling act constantly. But have you done TV ever?
Never.
Did you get your
Never. No. I mean, I've done I've gone on Ben's show. I went on Jake's show. I've done TV hits. And the panic. I'm sweating thinking about it.
Can we get you both on our show at some point? Or is Ben gonna? I don't want to step on.
Ben
Ben's
won't
toes.
care. Ben could care less.
Ben's been doing this for 20 years. He's known us for 7 years. We've been on TV with him twice. He used to ask me all the time, "Hey man, do you want to drive down and do a segment?" I go, "No, it's Sunday. I'm not driving down all the way to Channel 10. Are you out of your mind?"
His grind though is unbelievable.
We talked about it with Jake yesterday. It's insane.
I don't know how he sleeps.
Do you ever do mornings?
No, I haven't, and I do it very scarcely. When I first got hired by Fox, I did their morning show that week, and I think that was the last time I've been on that morning show. I had to wake up that early, but that call is insane too. I mean, it's a 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. You're reading the teleprompter, you're doing the whole thing, which you're not, just having conversation like this, but it's pretty light and playful. So
the mornings are different. It's hard for me to think about doing another shift because it times out. I mean, the getting up early sucks, but bro, at 10:03, I'll be in my car today. Out
Done.
My
For the
weekend. For the weekend.
Yeah.
I'll be in my bed, Julian, at 10:40. Just dead asleep by 11. The Friday nap is the greatest nap in the history of naps.
Yeah.
And I try to get one every Friday. I try to before my kids get home, and I have to attack the weekend. Yeah,
be present and everything else. I feel like the best nap of the year though, Masters weekend, just happened.
It is such a good weekend.
That's my favorite.
That's your favorite.
That's top nap of all time.
Have you ever gotten to cover the Masters?
No, and I have found out that it is difficult to get a credential to that thing.
Very.
Which I didn't know. I thought that we could just say, "Hey, we're big time San Diegans. How do we?" Ben
stopped applying. Like he just is like, "I don't even bother." And I'm like, "Bro, you have to. It's your dream to go out there and cover the Masters." But as far as San Diego sports, man, we talked with Jake about it yesterday, and the phrase I use is there's one nut and there's a bunch of squirrels, and there's a bunch, you got podcasters, you got radio guys, you got TV people, everyone's out there, newspapers, you got everyone out there looking for the next thread. And I'll say this I'm assuming Padres coverage is probably top of the heap for you guys.
I think that's I always lead with Padres on the weekends. I think that's what everybody cares the most about. And kind of to your point as well, you add everybody's searching for that thread, and then you have people who have so much tenure in the market over, for me instance.
Yeah, you've been here how long?
Since 2020.
2020.
So I'll hit 5 years as of July.
All right.
But it was really awesome though in that time period, even though it was the pandemic, to kind of learn the Padres through Zoom.
Yeah.
And to be able to be in all those Zoom phone calls and understand the dynamics, the history, everything else, because it's really a crash course. I mean, you get here, you land, and you're supposed to, especially as journalists, know everything.
That's
right?
exactly
and
right.
If you don't have the right answer, you don't have the right, the
right
thing
tone,
to say,
the right thing to
everything
say.
else, or you think somebody who's really good has a bad week, and you're like, oh, this guy's probably not very good. And you say something like that, then all of a sudden your credibility is completely shot.
We do that all the time. If I need a Padre to get going, all I have to do is talk about how poorly he's playing, and the dude inevitably goes off tonight. So Xander Bogaerts, you got to pick it up tonight, buddy.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it's this crazy, it's almost this weird curse or jinx or reverse jinx. I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, we've talked about a player, and that night he's like 3 home runs, and everyone goes to my Twitter and yells at me, and I'm like, I'm happy to be wrong.
Yeah,
that's the thing is I want to be
instance.
wrong in all of that. I do. I want to get that wrong all the time, because that means, that. Yeah, Yuli Gurriel, great example. Yuli Gurriel probably
he needs to step it up.
He needs to be cut.
Badly.
He probably needs to be cut at this. There's
Yeah,
no
I've seen
chance
the
he's
DFA tweets out there and everything else, which is
that guy couldn't possibly hit an RBI double tonight.
Well, here's the thing. If he's in the lineup against Shane Baz, I mean, it just goes to show you how truly thin we are right now.
Right.
I mean, we do not have left-handers available right now. Everybody's hurt. And so we're going to be talking to AJ Preller actually at 8 a.m. this morning. We'll ask him about kind of where everybody stands right now. You're obviously missing Jackson Merrill. You're missing Jake Cronenworth. You're missing Jason Hayward at this point.
Yeah,
honestly,
I think he's supposed to be back Sunday at the earliest, allegedly, and then Arise.
And you're missing Arise.
Merrill come back Wednesday if everything
right?
goes correctly.
I'm
Last
gonna
I
ask-
checked on ESPN. But,
all right,
don't quote me on it.
We'll ask AJ. Again, he's not the most forthcoming person, and he doesn't. I think they do it because they don't want. You want to manage expectations. And I'll tell you what, as it pertains to the Padres and expectations, the coolest thing, and you have had to have seen it since you got here in 20. I certainly have since I got here in 2010. the expectations have changed.
For sure.
And the expectations have even changed in the last month since the season started, which is wild to say. You know, we were hoping, hey, man, grind this thing out, back your way into the playoffs, whatever, however you're going to have to do it, get into the playoffs.
The same thing happened last year. The same thing. We traded Soto. We had no idea what to expect after that horrible offseason. Peter died. That horrible offseason. And then all of a sudden you went and got Dylan Cease right before the season started.
And then you got Arise.
Then you got Luis Arise a month into the season, and we go, no. All of a sudden, now it's like, and that team, they didn't really get rolling into the second half, but you started thinking, no, this team has the talent. This is no longer like just try to get into the playoffs and hope for the best. Like, this team should win now.
And for sure, I also think that, you know, looking back at it, we won the Soto trade by far.
I mean, yeah, you look at it now, the Yankees lost him, and you were able to flip a prospect to get Dylan Cease. Now, we may lose Dylan Cease, but Michael King, we may lose Michael King. You never know. There's still, you know, it's still one of those deals where you're going to look at it in 10 years and go, all right, this is, you know, this was great, or this was whatever. But the fact that the Yankees didn't hold on to him, I mean, it feels like a dub, man, for sure.
But, you know, circling back to the expectation itself, you know, they haven't lost 3 games all season in a row, you know, and obviously that could be in the cards for them tonight with everything else. Hopefully it's not, and we're not talking about that. But this team, it's so wild because you look back, I think it was 2 years ago where they couldn't get the big hit, you know, and then they had all the talent. They couldn't make the postseason, you know, this what if. And it feels like ever since Schultz taken over, especially the second half of last season to now, these guys are thinking big picture. You know, they're thinking, you know, what the ultimate goal is, and they're not going to get set back. And it's interesting, and not to be too critical of Bob Melvin on this sense, but that team that was loaded with superstars, that was supposed to be the guys, just you got to wonder what happened in that clubhouse. Was there no voice? Was there no?
I think there was. I think there were too many voices, and I think it was. I think it is one of those things where you look around the room, and I remember when Xander got here. You know, Manny had to go to him halfway through the season and go, "Hey, dude, like you've won World Series. Speak." Talk like you're, and he's like, oh, I really don't know my place, whatever.
He's
it's
so
like,
quiet, though. It's unbelievable.
Let's go.
Seems
like
so sad. I don't want to ask him. Like, are you all right, dude?
Is everything good with you? No, I am with you. I am with you 100%. Yeah. So they won. They did win that one in Detroit. So if they lost, that'd be 2 in a row. If they lost the first 2, it'd be the first time they've lost 3 this season. But yeah, man, it has been. And I said it this week. I'm okay right now with the win one, lose one. You have to stay afloat. And that's kind of been the message.
Can't do it forever, but you can definitely handle that now.
You can do it until the guys get back. And I've been so impressed with this team. And, you know, you mentioned Mike Schilt. We talk to Schilt every other week on the program. And, you know, it's one thing for a guy to walk in a clubhouse and be like, I'm installing a new culture. Today is the day. Now, I bet you 1 million guys have tried to do that in all sports. We're going to install a new culture. I know Vrabel's trying to do it right now in New England. I know, you know, everybody wants to install a new culture. You have to have buy-in. And the fact that Manny and Fernando and Xander and everybody else said, you know what? And I think 2023, my theory is it was so friggin' embarrassing for these guys that they go, we'll buy anything you're selling at this point. Like, let's try this and see if it works. They started to see it work. They started to, I think, genuinely like playing with each other. And, you know, sky's the limit now. The expectations have changed.
It's crazy. You think about that first 10 games that they played in general, too, where they were, you know, stealing bases. They're playing, you know, they're just dogs out there doing everything.
Small ball.
For sure. You know, everything else. I want to go back to your point, though, about Xander Bogaerts, because I've seen this happen around baseball, and I feel like maybe Petco Park should do this, but Bogaerts tonight, Friday night, probably a sellout and everything else, comes up to the plate for the first time. Everybody standing ovation. Maybe that's
they've done this.
We talked about that yesterday. You know, it worked in Philly.
I think they just did it for Soto in New York. I don't know. I'm not a big boo guy anyway.
For sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I think people.
There's got to be something.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not $25 million worth. That's been the thing. If Xander Bogaerts was making $8 million a year, I don't think anybody's complaining about an OPS. It's, you know, OPS plus is over 100, it's 120 or something. And
because his contract was not needed, just the signing of him in general, it wasn't needed. We didn't have a burning black hole at shortstop or anything like that. I don't know that Xander could ever live up to the contract.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for him.
I
It's
think if
gonna
he
be
hits
tough.
300, people will find something to complain.
Mark says in the chat, it's insulting to give a guy a standing O. I mean, look, there's a couple different ways you can look at it.
I can see that though.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, he pat him on the head a little bit.
Right.
Like,
it's a
Doing
little
good job, buddy.
condescending.
Great,
Yeah.
great work out
great
there.
work, buddy.
It's a
We're
little
pulling for you.
condescending.
Matthew, you couldn't pay me to stand up and clap for X. I get it, man. People are going to fan the way they want to. But I will say the last couple of years, man, there has not really been a player that I wasn't rooting hard for. And there's players I've actively rooted against because I did not want them on the team. The way that it's gone the last couple of years, it seems like a really tight-knit group that have bought into Schultz philosophies and stuff. So should be interesting, man. Again, I have to keep reminding myself this is not the NFL, Woodsy. This is a long, long season. And so, yeah, man, we're going to figure it all out together today. Julian Delgatoio is in from Fox 5. We'll take a short break. We will be right back. Darren Smith's going to join us at 7:35.
Real quick, before we go to break and get ready for Don't Do This, let's give away a pair of tickets. We got some Padres tickets to give out for a game next week. This will be on Tuesday night against the Giants. They're off on Monday.
It's a good one.
And the first 40,000 fans in attendance, you get the free Tony Gwynn Jr. or Tony Gwynn rookie bobblehead.
It's so
not Tony
good.
Gwynn
It
Jr. Tony Gwynn.
It's so
Sr.
good.
I think he's got this hat on with it.
Yeah, he's got the hat. We had the bobblehead. I don't know if we still have it.
No,
in the
I took it
studio.
home.
You took it home. No, we do not have it in the studio. But if you want to win a pair of tickets to Tuesday's game, go ahead and call us now, 833-288-0973. And you can also get your tickets at padres.com/tickets if you don't win them and you want to go on Tuesday night.
All right. You know the number, 833-288-0973. We'll be right back. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't Do This, brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance. If and when you die, do set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com. It's a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. This is our longest running segment. Julian, this is Julian Delgatoio from Fox 5 is in hanging out too. So feel free to comment on any of these stories, but a really, really sad story out of the world of college basketball. Basketball phenom Elijah Arenas, he's the son of Gilbert Arenas, is in a coma right now. He had a very, very severe car crash around 5 a.m. Thursday, right outside his home in the San Fernando Valley. They saw him he got pulled out of a cyber truck that was on fire, and he was rolling around in the water. There was water next to it, and he was in such pain. They took him to the hospital. He's 18 years old. I think he was recruited by USC. and he was absolute stud in high school. 31 points, 7.8 rebounds a game, and he got signed to a sponsorship deal. The whole thing, and it is such a sad story. So he has been seriously injured. He's placed into an induced coma. They don't know what's going to happen with him, but obviously, I hope for the best. I really, really do. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine
to the Arenas family.
How sad it is for that family right now. So we will keep you updated on that story. Now, this one, I will be honest with you guys. This one is about as dicey of a don't do this story as you can get. And we follow the news. We've seen what's going on, but Club Shay, Shannon Sharp, is in a lot of hot water right now. You guys have probably been following this story. Let me ask you, when it comes to a story like this, how do you guys handle it on TV? Is it just a quick cursory mention?
Because he's on a different network, we always shy away from something like that.
Easier.
That makes it much easier,
which is nice.
We're not an ESPN radio affiliate, so we're just going to back off.
Yeah, right. That actually makes sense.
He's had a really crazy year, though. Didn't he have his phone on during a little?
He did. Yeah. That was that.
Time.
And we all, we all had a great laugh about that. Like, he was afternoon delight, and he left his phone on, or he clicked the record button accidentally, and it went out to the world. And that was pretty embarrassing.
On Instagram Live or something.
I loved his apology about that.
Yeah, I did too.
I am a healthy man.
A healthy man. But now
that's PR 101, everybody.
Now it's come out that he is being sued right now for $50 million by a woman that says that he sexually assaulted her. Now, they had a sexual relationship for, I think, about a year. But we're talking about, at this point, she claims at one point I revoked consent, and he did not appreciate that. He did not respect the fact that I revoked consent in the moment. And now screenshots are coming out. He has resigned essentially, or stepped away. He put out a statement yesterday. My statement is found here, and this is the truth. The relationship in question was 100% consensual. At this juncture, I'm electing to step aside temporarily from my ESPN duties. I'll be devoting this time to my family, responding and dealing with these false and disruptive allegations set against me. Plan to return to ESPN at the start of the NFL preseason. I sincerely appreciate the overwhelming and ongoing support I've received from my family, fans, friends, and colleagues. Man, when it comes to things like this, it's such a tough road to tread. You have to tread so lightly. But I'll tell you, man, from what I've seen in the text messages, what I've seen of his videos, at a minimum, this is just massively embarrassing, and he should never have been caught up in this. At a maximum, he should go to prison. Right?
For sure.
If that's the case. So
true, yeah.
At minimum, it's enough of a distraction for ESPN to be like, dude, we can't do this anymore.
Yeah, this is too much.
At minimum.
He's too old for something
like this. He's 59 years old.
Even with some 19-year-old
20,
model.
yes, 20 years old. And I'm telling you, man, when it came out that he offered a $10 million settlement, she didn't take it. She did not take it.
Wow.
$10 million is $10 million. And she said, nope, I'm not doing this. And it just for him, for everybody involved, I hope that this girl is okay, obviously. And it's just a terrible situation to be caught up in.
I plan to be back at the start of the NFL preseason. Let's call it August 1.
It's really presumptive.
That's 3 months.
Yeah.
And that's a long time of kind of being out of sight, out of mind. I think that makes it easier for him to just kind of disappear from ESPN and not ever come back.
Yeah, but it's very
saying, I plan to come back in 3 months.
It is very presumptive, man. It's very presumptive to think that you can.
Find it wild, a guy like that who's been there, done it all, in his late 50s, everything else. Like, why is he? What's he still searching for?
What are you still looking for?
What do you need out there?
I searched his feed to pull up that statement that you just read. He's doing like draft coverage on his show last night on his podcast, doing a live stream during the draft. Like nothing is going on.
Nothing
to look at here, folks. Let's talk about Ashton Genty.
Well, let's get into some positive news on a Friday, and I was really stoked to see this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
All right, for Doo-Doo this. I love this. This tweet came out yesterday from the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, and it says the NLBM is proud to announce baseball legend Ryan Howard and San Diego Padres manager Mike Schilt have joined the museum's Pitch for the Future campaign. It's an effort to build a new 30,000 square foot facility and campus aimed at advancing the museum's national mission of preserving the rich history of the Negro Leagues baseball and its profound impact on social progress in America. I loved it. I had no idea when this dropped yesterday that Schulte was involved in this. We'll be talking to him next Friday.
Yep.
Can't wait to ask him about it, how he got involved with this. And obviously Ryan Howard, huge career. I love this. And we know Bob Kendrick. We've talked to Bob Kendrick before, who runs it.
He's amazing.
The greatest storyteller maybe on the planet right now. I am so disappointed that I missed my trip to go to the Negro Leagues Museum in Kansas City. You guys all know the story. I'm not going to retell it in front of Julian. I'll tell you off the air.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. It's mortifyingly embarrassing.
There's a new Negro League museum-ish pop-up, I think, at the San Diego County Library by the ballpark.
That's right. That's exactly right. So it is it's a place I wanted to go so badly. And I ran into some trouble, and I'll tell you about it. And Carlos, yes, that's it. He's got it in the chat. I don't know if you can see the chat.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, that happened.
No way.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
Got a little dicey.
Got a flat tire.
That's great.
Got a flat tire and ran into some trouble. But that is don't and do this. Literally do this on a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, very excited for our next segment, our weekly segment with the great Darren Smith, San Diego FC broadcaster, longtime radio legend. And we'll talk to Darren next right here on 97.3
Right around the corner,
The Fan.
8 o'clock, AJ Preller.
AJ Preller coming up today. We are busy
Jam-packed.
beavers here on a Friday. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Welcome back, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Benny on vacation. Julian Delgatoio filling in today. I mean, it's the media tour today on Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. We got the great Darren Smith on hold. We will get to him. He's on StreamYard, too, so if you're watching on the stream, you get to see his beautiful face as well. And we will be right back with Darren after a quick check of traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by local and veteran-owned Kearney Mesa Volkswagen. Just a couple things to mention here, guys. One of them is a crash on the coastline south 5 past Basilone. It's over the right shoulder. Got an SUV that caught fire northbound 15 before Deer Springs Road. It's in the center divide. Southbound 805 before the 52. We're getting reports of some metal debris in middle lanes. No tariffs, no gimmicks, just real spring deals at Kearney Mesa Volkswagen. Drive a 2025 Jetta Sport for $249 or a 2025 Taos SE for $259 from your local veteran-owned dealership. For more details about these specials, go to KearneyMesaVolkswagen.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Thank you, Kelly. Let's get right out to our pal Darren Smith live on the internet this morning. He's on YouTube. You can watch him. Good morning, Darren. How are you, buddy?
Good morning. How
Oh,
are you guys doing?
You sound good, man. You sound like you're in the room. Look at you. He's got the background and everything. Look at you. Yeah, Darren texted me, Julian. I didn't want to embarrass you, but he said, "Good God, Julian's handsome."
Oh, well, thank you.
And I said, "I know this sucks. I got to start inviting uglier people in."
Well, listen, Darren, last time I saw him, I think we were at Waterfront many moons ago, and that was a pretty fun night, I have to say. But I remember there was an invite to a show that I think both of us, we need to get you on Fox and vice versa.
Yeah, I do remember that. Actually, it's funny you say it. I wasn't sure if it would be a faux pas to bring it up. You know, be like, hey, last time I saw Julian, I think it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And
Yes, it was. No, that was an awesome night. You know,
yeah, I've had some fun nights.
Good to see you.
I've had some fun nights with Darren. Darren, how are you, man? You got SDFC back in action tomorrow at the Snap, and doing my homework as I did. This is a winnable game, D. Smith. This is actually one I'm going to be kind of upset if they don't win. It's not Colorado Rockies bad, but it's a game they should win.
Yeah, I think that's good. Nice job.
Thank you.
You should do the pre, the half, and the post there.
Anytime.
As you can tell, I'm already ready to go. I'm already at Snapdragon Stadium. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's especially an important game because you've lost the previous two, right?
Yeah.
And there's not a ton of shame in having lost at Colorado or even losing at Charlotte's a best team in the East, and Colorado's a really, really talented team. And I guess a lot of MLS teams are probably going to lose back-to-back if you play that kind of quality. But coming back home against this team and having 6 of your next 8 at home at Snapdragon Stadium, what you want to create, home field advantage is a real thing in Major League Soccer. It was brought up to Mikey Varas yesterday that home field advantage in MLS is even it's more significant than it is in other sports in the U.S. So you really got to win at home. So playing back to back, coming off a 2-game losing streak, 2 games on the road, 6 of the next 8. I think this is the time for SDFC to flex a little bit.
To get on a run, and Real Salt Lake is a team based on the numbers that I saw. They are not a prolific goal scoring team, and luckily for us, they give up a lot of goals too. like one of the most goals against in our division. So for you, what was kind of missing in the game in Charlotte? Because I watched that one. We talked about it a little bit, and that just, I don't know, man. Like you said, great team, good goalkeeper, couldn't really get anything going. But one thing you and I have talked about before is like SDFC's not going to change who they are and what they do to tailor who they're playing. They're going to stick to their guns. And I think if they do that, like they've played at home so well, I think we can score, against these guys.
Yeah, I agree. And, I think I said to you guys last week, I thought that Charlotte was going to be the toughest match of the year up until that point, because they're really good, right? And the numbers back it up. They're first place in the East, and this is a push season for them. This is their 4th season in Major League Soccer, so they spent a little bit of money. It's impossible to win on that turf. They're 5-0, blah, 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 blah. The other thing about Real Salt Lake is this is the second time. This is the first time that SDFC has seen a team for the second time, right?
That's true, yeah.
Now there's a little bit of familiarity. And now this does become a little bit, as much as Mikey didn't want to say yesterday, it's a little bit of a chess match. What did you do well against them? What are they going to adjust to? What did they do? What are you going to adjust to? But, I think you're right. I think it's most important SDFC just go out there. There's a story Kevin Acey wrote for today's UT about Mike Schilt just being like a total discipline about process, right?
Yes,
right. Process and process and process. And that's what Mikey preaches too. Mikey Varas, the head coach, he preaches the same thing. Like, this is the way we're going to play. If I gave Mikey undeniable evidence that like kicking the ball 50 yards down the field was going to be the key to success this week, he'd be like, nope, not going to do it. They are going to play the way that they want to play. And they were playing okay for the first 10 minutes. Then they give up a goal, and then a player gets sent off, and the match got completely corrupted. When you're down a man, you have to make changes, and players are being subbed in and out. It just was a mess. So I think you can flush it, right, to use your words, and you can just say, we're back home, we feel good, we're comfortable here, we're going to get back to the way we're playing, we're as healthy as we've been all season long. So, let's get back. We've had success against this team before. Now's the time to kick it into a gear. They all seem to be in a pretty good mood yesterday. They felt like they were anxious to get back out there on the field again. So, I'm anticipating this will be a good one tomorrow afternoon.
I kind of want to call this maybe like a mojo reset in a way. They had their first match against LA Galaxy. That was a huge, win for them. They draw the next one. And then you look at their first match against Real Salt Lake, 2 goals past the 90th minute. I feel like that was such a cemented moment for this team in so many ways that like they can deal with the adversity, they can come back, and they have, the grit, if you will. They have like the tenacity to pull something like that off. And I feel like, maybe they have played tougher talent, obviously, over the last couple of weeks, and we haven't seen the same SDFC that we saw early on. But this could be, like I said, like a mojo reset that I think this team could really use right now. But it is such a long season. You want to stay healthy, you want to be productive, and they have shown that. But I think especially looking back to their previous match against Real Salt Lake, the other end of that coin, though, is how bitter is Real Salt Lake coming into San Diego after a match like that? And, what kind of fuel does that have to their fire?
Of course. And, they've got some spicy personalities on the coaching staff at Real Salt Lake, and including an assistant coach who some of you might remember, Nate Miller, who was the head coach at San Diego Loyal. So, I'm sure he would love to come back into San Diego and certainly put a product out there on the field that would be appealing to the people that he got to know. But these are like big personality guys. Like they would love, and SDFC's already, they're already considered a little bit of a pelt for some of these other MLS teams, right? Because they got off to such a good start and they were the darlings and everybody's, oh, wow, they're so great. Look at them. They're doing things and they got the stuff. So, I think a lot of the people that have been around this league for a long time are probably like, yeah, like let's knock those dudes down. Let's chop them down a little bit. It's a nice compliment for SDFC that you're already considered a feather in the cap for some of these other MLS teams. But, ultimately for them, it's just about, they got to get back on track. And, I think that they are really excited to play in front of their home fans again. So they're expecting, it's going to be different. 4:30 is like a totally, totally different vibe. So, I'm kind of curious to see what the vibe's going to be like tomorrow afternoon. Personally, as somebody who's working the game, I'm super excited that I get to get home for dinner. But, I do think it's going to be,
Is that the earliest game they played inside of Snapdragon Stadium? Is that the earliest game they played inside of Snap all year? Interesting.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that.
I think maybe down the road they'll have one, but.
Yeah, we're talking SDFC here. If you've listened to sports talk radio over the last 20 years here in San Diego, you know the voice. That's Darren Smith.
D. Smith.
Talking a little SDFC. Now, I was just going to ask you about the start time. Woodsy is not very technically sound. And
Correct.
he has a lot of trouble with the dual screens, two games on at the same time. It's just, I already know I'm going to get the call right around 5:30. Paulie, how do I do this? Paulie, how do I do this? Because a couple of weeks ago, we had a earlier Padres game. I think it was a 4:00 national TV on a Saturday that week. And then you had SDFC at 7:30 at the Snap. Now you have the early soccer game at Snapdragon, and then you have the 5:40 Padres game. So you can't really go to both.
Can't go to both.
Certainly watch both.
I'll watch it on my phone,
There
and
you
I'll
go.
watch the pods on the big screen.
But what are you expecting the atmosphere to look like at Snapdragon for a different start time, and then with the Padres game going on at the same time?
I mean, I thought we saw it a couple of weeks ago, right, where there was that overlap, and Padres had 40,000 plus, and SDFC had 30,000 plus. And I don't think everybody just went from one venue to the other because it was a pretty tight window. I don't think the Padre game ended by the time the SDFC game started. I think it's going to be good, especially after being off for a couple of weeks. And Woodsy, you said even last week that Hannah had circled an earlier start time because it's convenient for people with kids and such.
Yeah.
So I think they're expecting close to 30,000. That's sort of the buzz that I picked up yesterday out there at practice, or as Woodsy calls it, training. So I'm anticipating that it's going to be somewhere in that neighborhood again. I hope so, but it's going to be raucous, like it always is. The supporter section is going to show up. They're going to be out there tailgating as soon as they open up the gates, like they always do.
Darren, you're talking. Darren Smith joins us on Ben and Woods this morning. You're talking about home field advantage. It's certainly something that's worked at Petco this year. 12-1 right now should be insane tonight. Shane Baz on the bump against Michael King. It's one of the more elite pitching matchups that you'll see tonight. You also get Paul Skeens and Yamamoto in LA. That's going to be nasty. Two of the best. I love Paul Skeens. Right, I get it. I do love Paul Skeens. It's fine. I'll be rooting my ass off for Paul Skeens tonight. Everybody will. But the difference this year at Petco and the way the guys are playing at home. I mean, last year was the total opposite. Good on the road early, bad at home. And now you look at this like, bro, these guys don't lose here. It is really helping. I know, soccer, football probably feels a little different, but it's real at Petco Park this year. It really is.
And I think the other thing that, and it's been true the last couple of years, I don't know why it's been pointed out or why it seems so much more noticeable this year, is when the Padres play on the road, you're like, wow, that sucks. Like, look at that environment. Boy, that's pathetic.
Yeah, 13,000.
Who would want to go spend money on that place? That looks terrible.
I know.
I think it's just like it's such a different vibe, and it's been such part of the story, the success and the record at home, and it also just makes you want to go to games, doesn't it? Like it just seems like our home sports environments are just next level. They're like elite by comparison to a lot of other places around sports, and that's such a compliment. I'm not trying to pander or hey, what a good looking audience, but it's just like such a great vibe that we have in the city right now, for both teams. And you can't help but notice it, that when these teams, if you follow these teams, when they play outside of San Diego, you're like, yeah, that's, it's not so great, is it?
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, and it's obviously very visual when you put on a game in Detroit, and they've got a good team. They got a good team. They got a good young team, a hungry team that can win baseball games. And you're like, oh, there's 14,000.
Even Wrigley Field when we were out there was 40 degrees.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't have gone to
why.
those games either, Paulie. I'm not. It's got to be 70.
It's jarring to see in the background. There's like 14 people.
I know. It's been amazing, man, for both teams, and again, kind of catching fire here, but it's a big one. It's a big one for SDFC. It's a big series for the Padres. I know it's only April. I get it, but they all feel big this year. Darren, I was talking about it earlier in the week. I'm looking around at a couple of pockets, right? Met fans going bananas at Citi Field. Cub fans going bananas. Padre fans going bananas. It has been so rad. Like people, I don't know. Maybe it's like this every year. This year, it just feels a little different. Like
for sure,
the teams that are expected to be there, the fans are really, I feel like, showing up a little bit more, and they're living and dying with it, and I kind of dig it.
Wasn't there a Wednesday game a week or so ago where they had like 40 something, third largest crowd in team history or something like that? That is crazy. Who has that time off in the middle of the week?
I know.
That's what I want to know.
Radio, morning radio hosts do. But
Well, yeah. If you could put another 10,000 seats on Petco Park right now. If you could snap your fingers or wave a wand and say, "Hey, it's 50,000."
Right.
And you still have people packing the place. It feels like every single night.
Yeah.
You know, the demand for the product right now is just off the charts.
It's really turning into like a hornet's nest in a lot of ways.
It is.
I remember going to Citizens Bank when we were playing the Phillies in the playoffs, and obviously playoffs are way different than like regular season, but Petco Park, since that series and onward, it's just been,
it's getting there.
It's loud.
Yeah.
They got fire. They have all kinds of stuff.
It's great, man. And we got AJ Preller coming up in about 8 minutes, D. Smith. I know you probably miss your combos with AJ Preller.
Anything you want us to ask?
Yeah, you guys probably still text and stuff. He likes D. Smith a lot.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, AJ.
The things that I text AJ about are probably not of interest to your audience. So
Actually,
the NBA playoffs, perhaps? I mean, yeah.
No, I think you could ask him about St. John's recruiting
Oh,
and transfer
okay.
portals.
All
If
right.
he'd be into that, yeah.
I knew it was some basketball.
we did talk
jargon.
about UCSD basketball at spring training. That's all he wanted to talk about was UCSD basketball back in late February.
I wonder if he's been watching.
He's
the
like
playoffs.
a Joe Lenardi type man. I'm telling you, like he knows the transfer portal and stuff. Like he's on that stuff. He's dialed in on it.
Well, we are going to be talking to him next. D. Smith, you're the best, man. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the games, and I know you're going to have a great call. Darren Smith, everybody, appreciate you, buddy.
Good to see you.
Thank you, guys. Must-win weekend for everybody.
Must win,
Yeah,
exactly.
Got to put everybody in a better frame of mind for next week.
Oh,
We can't be going crazy here. We need better results this weekend.
I need it.
Good to see you, Joey.
I need it. See you,
to
buddy.
see you,
Have a
Darren.
good one. Darren Smith, everybody. He is just one of the best, man. One of the best to do it. And that's why we love having him on to talk SDFC. The fervor for that team in the way that they got up to a hot start, much like the Padres, it's all together, right?
Man,
it makes sense.
The crowds too. I'm dying to go to one of those games.
Me
I have to
too.
anchor weekends,
Me too.
unfortunately, but I just see like people are buying in. You see the bumper stickers. You
Yeah.
see people wearing jerseys around town. It's so cool how quickly that's risen.
My little guys wearing their hats and their jerseys, they're all into it now. They both play soccer. So yeah, man, this is it. And again, the hot start really for the Pods and SDFC. Yeah, again, if you build it, they will come.
Right.
People are excited about good products. Go figure
Right.
how that works. We got to take a break. Again, AJ Preller's coming up next. Obviously going to ask him what's going on with the health of, the guys that are out right now. Want to talk to him about the corresponding move. We saw Kyle Hart got sent down. Haven't heard anything about what their plans are. I don't know how forthcoming he will be about their strategy.
We'll try.
But we'll try. And you've interviewed AJ before.
Yeah, not in this capacity. Though. I feel like this is a little more lighthearted, as they say. I feel like there's always
it's what we try. It's what we shoot for.
No, that's good.
I'll let you lead this one, Julian.
okay, great.
Julian
Here we go.
Delgatoio from Fox 5 joins us this morning. He's in studio. We got Carlos Quentin, by the way, coming by at 9, talking about a really cool project as well. So, again, still a ton of show to go. We're not even halfway home on a Friday yet, and we still have so much to get to. So thanks for being here to all the Tier 1s. Thanks to Darren Smith. And, of course, thanks to Julian Delgatoio from Fox 5 for hanging out. We'll be right back. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Oh, yeah. Halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. And we're still going strong. We still have 2 hours left of the program on a Friday. And we've got big guests. Got Carlos Quentin coming in at 9. Very excited for you guys to hear what he's working on. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool stuff. And, I talked to him yesterday. I just said, we just love having you in and having you on, man. Yeah. Carlos Quentin's the best.
I Googled him yesterday.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned Carlos Quentin because that was a name that hasn't popped up in the circulation for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm so curious that so the one thing that stuck out is that he led the league in being hit by pitches in 2012.
That's right.
And the Greinke thing was obviously
the Greinke thing was huge.
Oh, yeah.
But you can ask about all that at 9 when he comes in.
I'll save it for then.
And right now, we've got the president of baseball operations for the San Diego Padres, Mr. AJ Preller, on with the program. Good morning, AJ. How are you?
Morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing well. We've got Ben is out on a golf vacation, AJ, just to be completely transparent with you. And we've got Julian Delgatoio. He's hanging out with us from Fox 5.
We might be stuck with me.
We like to bring in Ben's competition when he's out. So Julian's in here, and he'll be helping out with the interview. So how's everything going, my man?
It's good now that I hear Ben's not there.
Yes.
Oh, well, there we go.
I thought so. I thought you may feel that way. Now that you know, you're just going to get a bunch of softball questions from me.
We haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. It's no coincidence. Ben goes on vacation. We get AJ Preller on the
That's true.
show.
I was really worried about who we were going to have on the program today. They said the AJ's coming on. I go, oh, okay. Now that Ben's not here.
It's a huge get.
It's a huge get. The team is obviously playing very well, AJ. Playing well at home. The home field advantage for this team has been outstanding. You, as the president of baseball ops, how are you viewing this team right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to get off to a good start, and I think we've shown that, playing at Petco, the energy with the crowds have been incredible. And again, we know our division's going to be tough, and we've been able to go out, and it's not like everything's gone our way. I think we've had we'll talk about it, I'm sure, but dealing with some of the injuries we've dealt with, it's been an opportunity for a lot of guys on the roster to contribute. We've seen Toddy and Manny and those guys do their thing, and the bullpen's been good, and starting pitching is in general, seeing King, Cease, Pivetta, those guys kind of take the lead in the rotation. So there's been a lot of good. Obviously, we've had some challenges, but, I think, again, you want to get off to a good start, and I think we have so far, and hopefully we'll build on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously the dream. And when you talk about the guys in your starting rotation, we did see come across the wire yesterday. Kyle Hart been sent down to El Paso. And I think you would probably evaluate it the same. He's had some really, really good moments, and he's had some not so good moments, which is not uncommon. Is there a corresponding move that you can share with us, or are you not ready to do that yet?
Yeah, no. So we're gonna. I think we looked at the schedule, and Schulte and Ruben and Josh Stein looked at the schedule, and just basically with some off days, I think we have an opportunity to, to work of 4 starters into the mix. Yep. And then I think for Kyle, it's a chance. I think we saw it the other day where in Detroit, where he. I think he's continuing as he's come back from Korea. He's continuing to kind of find what works for him, and he's had some moments where you can look at it and say, yeah, we think this has a chance to be effective as a major league starting pitcher. So I think he's going to help us this year, and I think he's going to go down to AAA and kind of keep refining some things. And then we're going to bring up Ryan Bergert
nice.
And just kind of, and just lengthen the bullpen. So, at the end of the day, Ryan can do a lot of different things. He's been starting in AAA, but it's an opportunity for us to add another arm to the pen in this stretch where we have some off days, get our top starters, where they're still lined up from a rest standpoint, but they start to line up, in a spot where they get regular work, and we get a chance to get Kyle Hart down to AAA where he continues to work, and, expect him to be back here probably pretty soon, honestly.
Well, we can never say again that AJ Preller does not break news on Ben and Woods, because he just
been asking for 7 years.
Yeah, man. Finally, the Ryan Bergert coming up. That's really cool.
Ben leaves, and it opens the floodgate. That's what it was. I think
everything
that was the
else.
problem.
All right, AJ, who are you trading for at the deadline while we've got you going?
Ben's
right
not here.
now.
Remember that.
Is Higgins Higgins online? Is
No.
Let's
talk deals here, right? No, look, I know when you built this team in the offseason, right? Everybody, and probably including you guys as well, like, all right, the depth is we got guys for a reason. Now, when your depth gets injured, that's when you run into a little bit of a problem. And I know you got some guys playing out of position, some guys trying to step up right now. But the designated hitter spot is one that I wanted to ask you about because we haven't gotten a ton of production yet from Yuli. Jason went down, Lockridge went down. You got guys filling in. You've used it as an opportunity to get Manny off his feet, to get Xander off his feet, Tatis off his feet. What is kind of the plan right now? I know Campy's tearing the cover off the ball at AAA right now. Are you guys looking to make some changes there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've, again, like you mentioned, I think we've, the injury factor. It's been an opportunity to see a lot of the guys that, honestly, like we knew we would need coming out of spring training. And in terms of, you see who steps up, and probably the biggest one has been Gavin Sheets. He's obviously had some really good at-bats and some big swings for us, and factors in whether it's in that DH spot or left field. But yeah, I think it's a spot we knew there'd be some competition. There's going to be some different looks that we have, and whether it's some of the guys that have come from AAA, Tirso or Oscar Gonzalez, whether it's some of the guys that some of the veteran players that, Hayward and others, we've given them the first crack and the opportunity, but it's going to be something that we keep evaluating throughout the first half of the season. And, you mentioned Campy, he's swinging the bat really well in AAA. I think you want to have a deep lineup. I think when we get back, some of the regulars will start to lengthen out. But right now it's an opportunity for some guys to show that they can contribute at the big league level. And I think that's going to be something that we're going to keep watching here in the first half of the season about just adding another bat, and whether that's, in that DH slot or another place on the field. That's something that we'll keep looking at here as we go.
Talking to AJ Preller, president of baseball ops for the San Diego Padres. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously you lose 4 of your starters. Can you give us an update on just kind of how everyone's doing? I mean, we know when Luis is supposed to come back. That was a horribly scary, awful moment. One of my favorite Padres. It was brutal to watch. I'm sure it was awful for you. But Luis, Jackson, Crony, and Jason Hayward.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Luis. Obviously, you mentioned you get into Sunday night baseball, and you're excited to see a good game, and a few minutes into the game, you're dealing with a really serious situation. So I thought everybody handled it well from the medical side. I'm very appreciative for the Astros and their group and how they handled it. But yeah, he's in concussion protocol, so he's doing well. He'll be at the ballpark this weekend. But there's some steps that he's going to need to take to get back on the field. So we take that seriously, and and then see how the next few days go for Luis, and hopefully he has a great weekend. And we're talking about Luis next week as ready to come back and play and bring his energy, his bat, back to Petco. I think with Jackson and Lockridge, the hamstrings, they've been progressing, and they've been doing well. It's just not an injury that I think we feel like, you can't really, there's no shortcuts there in terms of coming back. I think everybody has had pulled muscles and, any kind of muscle strain. You come back too soon, you look up and then you're talking about more months than weeks. So, I think with Merrill, with Lockridge, I think there's still some more steps that need to be done. They're going to start to progress on the field this weekend. From a baseball activity standpoint, we'll get a better sense of the time frame, but hoping we're now starting to kind of shorten that distance of those guys getting back on the field, and start to get a little bit better sense of when that will exactly be. Hayward is more of a day-to-day thing with his knee. We keep going on. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of them that we've been talking about. And then Crony getting hit in the ribs and having the fractured rib. Again, I think had a good week. He was with the team on the road trip. I think it's a matter of him starting to figure out, how aggressive he can be in terms of getting back on baseball activity. If he hits the ground, how's that going to feel? But again, I think Crony, Merrill, Lockridge, it's probably not on this homestand. But I think we'll start getting more information this weekend and start getting a better sense of the exact time frame for them. I think they're kind of past the initial just recovery stage, and now they're going to start doing some more baseball activity here shortly.
What's the latest on Darvish's timeline?
He had a really good. He was with the team on the road trip. He threw a bullpen in Houston, and then another one, I believe, in Detroit. So he's starting to get some volume, and he's feeling good. I think from Ruben and all of our pitching standpoint, watching him, they feel like the pitch mix, the stuff, the crispness is there. And now it's more about building back up. And I think he'll start to continue to progress with bullpens and then, start getting them back into games, So again, I think the good news for all of these players is, there's nobody where we're looking at it where, hey, these are season threatening injuries or anything like that. It's just a matter of getting into the year, being smart about it, using the depth. And, I think from Darvish's standpoint, he's starting to build up, and I think he'll continue that build up this week in terms of just getting some more volume, more bullpens, and then start looking at scheduling, him to face some hitters and getting into game action right after that.
Talking to AJ Preller here on Ben and Woods, and always appreciate the time, AJ. Last one for me. So yeah, we've covered the injuries. We were talking yesterday on the roundtable, and it's always a fun topic, especially when you're the general manager. It's AJ's going to be busy, he's going to be active. When you look at kind of how things are, and I know there's so much time until like the deadline but I know you've added guys, before the deadline and all that before, but how do you look at, when you look at the competition in the National League, especially right now, it's pretty insane. There's some really good baseball teams. Do you sit and go, all right, this market's going to be active. This market's going to be pretty soft this year with the new wild card. So many teams think they're in it. Like, when do you start gauging what the market may look like, come the end of July?
I think you're always evaluating it. I think like you're always trying to take a look and trying to predict, and that's your job to have a feel for what's going to happen and how it's going to play out. But it usually gets to what was the old draft time, like kind of that first week of June, to see who's real and kind of what direction different teams are taking. So I think for right now, it's, you're just evaluating your own. You're trying to hopefully stockpile wins and, bank wins, and then trying to get a sense of where we're at. And I think, in terms of, looking at guys in our own organization to see what kind of help we'll have from inside. And then when you get to about June 1st, that's when it starts to get more serious and teams start to, get a little bit more into the buyer or seller area. And, we'll see how this year goes. And like you mentioned, it's going to be a super competitive National League. Our division is, you have to be very, very, very good teams to come out of our division. And that's a good thing. It just raises the bar for everybody.
Well, we appreciate your time this morning. Good luck against Tampa Bay. I mean, I know you want some left-handed bats in there because the guys they're running out, and I know it's Shane Baz tonight. He's pretty nasty. It's the boys got their work cut out for him, but I know Petco's going to be rocking as it usually is, and I know they'll be ready to play under Schulte. So tell everyone we said hi. We appreciate the time this morning, AJ.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, buddy. And now we've also learned that AJ Preller more willing to open up
without Ben. I know. I didn't want to. Just my presence here. I don't want to ask anything because I feel like that was.
Well, we had him on the line, and so it's like, wow, we got to reel him in right here. So Ben's been the problem the whole time.
I never would have thought that.
I mean, I thought it privately, Paulie, but I don't want to say it out loud. But he was very open, and Ryan Berger getting the call up, which is just. That's breaking news on Ben.
It's not the biggest news in the world, but that's breaking news, damn it.
It's the biggest breaking news he's ever broken on Ben and Woods. Love that. Love to hear from that.
You guys should tweet it.
We will. If you haven't tweeted that yet, Paulie.
Breaking.
We need to get it. We need to get it out. But no, excited for this. The rest of this season. I know, I have ideas of guys that I would love to target. I have guys but every time I have an idea of like, ooh, this would be a good fit, he goes the complete opposite direction of I think what all of us kind of speculate, and it's been crazy under his direction, man. It has.
I think the pickups that he's had this offseason, like Pavetta has been outstanding.
He's been outstanding,
and that's been a really cool thing. But Gavin Sheets as well, a guy on the White Sox.
Yeah,
not a lot of eyes were on that team last year.
Reclamation project of the highest order,
and he tore it up. Spring training was like 6 home runs in a week or something crazy like that.
And he's been really, really, really good for us so far, and he's got to keep it going. He's going to be at the top, in the top of the lineup right now. So I know they're constantly working to try to figure it out, and I just, again, we need to add this, we need to add that. Where are they coming from? Right? Like the only player at AAA that's on the 40 man, that's not on the 26 is Luis Campusano. And you mentioned, for me, I've not ever really been high on Luis Campusano. I think he's gotten a ton of chances. But he is absolutely demolishing the baseball right now. His OPS is over 1,000. He's crushing it. It happens in El Paso. We know that. But man, if he could come up and be the right-handed option for designated hitter, doesn't have to catch. We got two serviceable catchers right now. Just come up, hit. Do what you're doing right now.
Move the runners along.
Move the runners along. The next man up. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like he's definitely interested in adding another bat. So I'm sure he's working the phones right now, but always appreciate AJ's time. We will take a break. We will be back. We still got Carlos Quentin coming in studio this morning. Are we going to do Take on Woods? Give away a prize? All right, let's do it. Take on Woods.
Call now, 833-288-0973. 288-0973. We will get a caller on the line, Take on Woods. We got the Rhino Report a little early because, Carlos Quentin at 9 o'clock in studio to wrap up the show for a full hour. Come on.
Let's go. Excited about it. Coming up next, Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
If you wanted to catch your breath, you didn't have time. Ben and Woods are back. 97.3 The Fan. Got our pal Julian Delgatoio hanging in with us this morning. Hanging out with us in studio is what I was trying to say on a Friday.
Blankenwoods.
Am I the new Ben where I just start to lose it
Fridays.
at like 8:30? He's like, blah, 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 blah. And no, I kind of get it now. I do, because he does most of the heavy lifting on this show.
For sure.
I throw the
pros
jabs,
pro,
and
you know,
he's just the heavy lifter.
I saw him on Tuesday, I want to say.
Yeah.
Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, right before he left at USD. And I'm a big fan of Ben. You know, I know that
Us too.
It's like Anchorman and
Yeah.
you think that thing, but he's awesome, man. Like
He's the
that guy's
best.
A legend.
He is the absolute legend. There's a legendary human.
I feel like I tell him he's a legend, though. He's like, that's just your way of telling me I'm really old, kid. You know?
Yeah. Seems like something Ben would say.
It does. It absolutely does. All right, we got a caller on the line, Paulie.
Yeah, speaking of Ben, this is his favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So I got to step it up here.
Step it up a
Let's
notch.
get to a little take on Woods. All right, there we go. Turn the mics on. It's the first step. All right, let's see here if we have our caller. Caller 97.3 The Fan. Who is this?
This is Joe. If this is me.
Joe, that is you. How you doing, Joe?
All right, how you doing?
Good. You calling for Take On Woods this morning?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's get to it. If you were listening, not yesterday, we did real or fake, but on Wednesday, Ben left us with a couple of categories, and one was already taken off the board. So rather than giving you three, we've got two categories to choose from, okay? And this is Take On Woods, brought to you by Bay Alarm Security and Fire Alarms for every business. We got you. So, Joe, your category options are, and these are all 2-second song categories, both of them, okay? You've got duets, old and new-ish. Pretty self-explanatory
New-ish.
there. New-ish.
Ish.
Duets. And then you have one if by land, two if by sea. You'll either have land or sea in the title of each and every song.
Let's do the one if by land, two if by sea.
One if by land, two if by sea. All right, let me pull that up right now. Now, Julian, I'll host, if you don't mind keeping score for me.
I got
Let
you.
me know how many correct answers that we get from Joe. As I pull it up here, Joe, one if by land, two if by sea. All right, an all 2-second song category here, land or sea appearing in every answer. All right, are you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, your song begins here in just a second. The timer starts when I play the first clip. All 2-second song category, land and sea is what we're looking for, Joe. Let's Take On Woods.
To my love, took it down.
Landslide, Fleetwood Mac.
Correct.
Oh, pass.
Okay.
Land of Confusion, Genesis.
That is correct. Song number 4.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Land of a Thousand Dances, Wilson Pickett.
That is correct. Song number 5.
Beyond the Sea, Bobby Darin.
That is correct. Let's go back to song number 2.
Duran.
Quickly.
I don't have it.
All right, there's the time. Joe, you did very well. 4 out of 5 is good. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to beat or tie Woods. The one you didn't get was I Ran by Flock of Sea Gulls.
I know that song. It was in Grand Theft Auto.
Gulls. Yes.
That's why I couldn't place it.
But you did get Landslide by Fleetwood Mac. You got Land of Confusion by Genesis. Land of a Thousand Dances by Wilson Pickett. And Beyond the Sea by Bobby Darren. So let's bring Woodsy back in. Ben's very good at coordinating the game.
You did well. You kept score.
In.
I didn't even have to. I have it all written down.
Well,
but
Joe's a very good contestant. So
all right, here we go.
You got Joe. You're gonna have to bring your A game. I won't tell you the category. I will tell you that is another all 2-second song category.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So
I'm trying to get over the draft whipping I just got from Adam Klug out there in the hallway.
We'll talk about the damn
We're going to
draft.
talk about the draft. Klug, come on. All right, here we go.
All right. So all 2-second song category. Your time begins when I start the music. Are you ready to take on Joe?
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
To my love.
That's Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
That is correct.
That is Iran by Flock of Seagulls.
Correct. Song number 3.
Land of Confusion by Genesis.
Correct. Song number 4.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
What is the freaking category? I'll pass.
Okay. Song number 5.
Is that How Lucky Can One Guy Be?
That is not. Back to song number 4.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Is that Sam Cooke? No, say it. Sam Cooke.
10 seconds. It's not Sam Cooke.
No, I'm screwed then. I'm out.
You're out?
Yeah.
Let's just
Are you
wait
sure?
for
You
it.
want to go back to the other one?
Not enough time.
Oh.
And by a score of 4. You got 4.
I got
3.
I
You got 3, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
three.
Yeah.
Three.
You didn't get the last one. So the one that you didn't have any idea was Land of a Thousand Dances by Wilson Pickett. And then the other one that you missed was Beyond the Sea by Bobby Darren.
Bobby Darren.
So by a
What was
score
the
of 4 to
category?
3. The score or the category is Land or Sea.
Land or Sea. I don't know that it would have helped me.
I don't think it would have.
I
Did
would've
you
gone
win?
the
Did
Land
I
of
win?
Thousand.
Did Joe win?
Joe won.
Joe won.
Congratulations,
Joe.
Congrats, Joe.
So just hang tight for a couple of minutes here, Joe. I'll get to you when we go to break.
Yeah, that's the na 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 na. I love that song. I don't think I remembered the name of the song.
I wouldn't have gotten that one. But the Bobby
Congratulations.
Darren one.
But
that's-
I started so hot.
You did great.
I was 3 for 3, and they needed me in the
seventh
in
inning.
the 7th and 9th,
Run
and
on
I
scoring position.
completely soiled myself. Thank you, Paulie, for running that, and congratulations, Joe. I will be a gracious loser today. Carlos Quentin coming up on the program. We have not talked draft at all. We probably should mention it a little bit.
It happened yesterday.
It happened
And today.
yesterday. I just got worn out by Adam in the hall. Not for not talking. He just wanted to share stuff. He's an eager beaver.
He's an oversharer.
He's an oversharer.
He loves to share.
He loves to share. We'll be right back. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Welcome back, Ben Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Getting my seventh wind today. And going to wrap up the show in about an hour and a half. Turn it over to Braden. I'm sure they did some NFL draft coverage last night. I watched about 17 picks of the draft. So I'm
17 more than I watched.
I'm very well versed.
more than
I'm
I-
very well versed in
Yes.
this whole thing. We'll talk a little NFL draft and the absolute spectacle that it was.
It is fun. This Shador thing that's going on right now.
It's pretty
is
nuts.
Unbelievable.
We'll talk about that. Let's do a quick check of traffic with Kelly Danik, and we'll get into it.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danik.
Traffic is sponsored by Jack in the Box, and if our roads are any indication, you got plenty of time to swing by there and get breakfast this morning. There's just not much going on, guys. We have this one crash note down 125 past San Miguel Ranch Road, and it's over to the right shoulder, and fortunately, not really causing any slowing. Yeah, and you're going to want to sit down for this, the jumbo breakfast platter from Jack in the Box. You know you got time. Seriously, it's so much food. There's French toast sticks, grilled sausage patty, hash brown, and scrambled eggs, all for just $3.99. Get all this and so much more at Jack in the Box. It sounds so good right about now. I'm Kelly Danik with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Started here with our
what is happening?
Today's edition of the Rhino Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rhino Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
Two stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And one story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we were a little out of sorts. Paulie had Joe still on hold from Take On Woods, get his info. Adam came in, handed us a camera. Like,
Uh-oh.
4 guests might be too much.
It might be a little bit too much. I know.
We have Fridays.
We have
Thank you guys.
a lot of moving parts.
And it's Friday, so it's already
and it's an
just
early
a cluster.
It's an early Rhino Report. today,
Yeah,
too. That
just everything's off.
threw
I
me
looked
off.
down as traffic was playing. I'm like, Joe is still on hold. I have to get his number.
Poor
I have to
Joe.
get all of his information. I'm like, I got time. I can do this.
He's just
And
rotting.
I did. I was ready to go.
Good job, dude. Here we go.
Nobody would have known.
If we hadn't said anything, nobody would have known. But we don't like to do that.
All right. Happy Friday, gentlemen.
Happy Friday.
Yeah. So, Julian, we like to make history on the show whenever we can. We already made some history with breaking news from AJ Preller
Yep.
earlier in the 8 o'clock hour here. I think we've also made history as being the only sports talk radio show in America to go 2 hours and 41 minutes into their show today and not have even mentioned the NFL draft.
Beyond impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm
Thank
very,
you.
very happy about that.
That's how we like to roll
Oh,
here.
I love the report cards already.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know.
it's just such a spectacle. It's
It
such
is.
a spectacle.
It
What they have
is.
250,000 people there last night. in
Descending
Green
on
Bay?
Green Bay.
Unbelievable.
It was incredible. I mean, look, they do it right. There's no question. Now, I don't like them yanking teams out of cities like they did here in San Diego. That's obviously not great business. But when it comes time to do things like that or like this, nobody's better. They tease of their schedule release. I mean, these guys
Yes.
know what they're doing.
I
man.
opened up the ESPN app to check something regarding the draft, and it's like breaking news. Adam Schefter says the schedule will be released on May 14th or something. I'm like,
It's so good.
great.
It's-
fantastic.
they know how to market their
They
product.
do. They're elite in that sense.
And we're
but-
different because we don't have a team anymore
Right.
here. So it's just
a little
it's a little bit different. We're a little bit salty still. No surprise, Cam Ward goes number 1
Yep.
to Tennessee. Travis Hunter, number
Early
2.
surprise. Yeah, Jacksonville trading up to get him. He's going to be.
Yeah,
I
I already love this kid.
I do too, but all I kept picturing is their weird head coach and Travis Hunter. You remember Duval? What's his name?
Liam Cohen.
Liam Cohen. One of
He fixed it like a week later, though. How many times do you think he practiced that in the mirror?
you couldn't have gotten worse than the very first one he did.
It
It
was
was
really
like
bad.
we must have played it 50 times the next day. I mean, honestly, I was like, I can't stop watching this guy.
no.
The face,
The eyebrow
the
thing that he
eyebrow
did, that
Duval.
was
It was like, man, that's a weird first impression.
Yeah.
I mean, a very, very strange one. But I thought that was a really, really savvy move by them to move up and grab Travis Hunter. And like they said in his interview, he said, "No, I've talked to these guys. They're gonna quote, let me do my thing." So
cool.
It's hard though, right? Like you get a guy like that that's such a good cornerback, right? He's so good.
Right.
You're like, buddy, this is the NFL. This isn't college football anymore. We can't have you playing 1,500 snaps or
Right.
something. We just
You're
can't.
at risk
Like,
of injury at this
it's
point. They're
just-
paying him whatever it is.
So I think the move is great. We'll see how long he wants to do that, how long that they allow him to do that. I thought the Abdul Carter pick was phenomenal. Watch that. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so when they played Penn State, I watched that guy. He was ungodly.
I know they're your Raiders, not my Raiders.
Right.
But I'm
Genty,
actually
yeah.
excited that Genty's going to Las Vegas
I
with
saw
Pete
that
Carroll's
too.
offense. I think that could be fun.
The grin on his face when they brought that up, they're like, "Hey, man, new head coach Pete Carroll loves to build his team around a running," and he just grinned from ear to ear, like, "I get to be the guy." I thought that was a great pick. I was just talking to Adam in the hall. He's a huge Atlanta Falcons fan, and they got mocked. They got mocked pretty roundly for their moves. Now, I didn't see anything terribly wrong with it. Adam loved the pick out of Georgia that they had, but they traded next year's first. Anytime you do that, you better really love this player. You better really be excited about it. But no, I like the draft. I love the spectacle. And, of course, I love hugging mom and dad when they get the call. Did you see the vomiting baby?
Oh I didn't see this.
There was a vomiting baby.
Baby was getting like rocked.
Yeah, there was like
they were like she was holding him in her arms and like clapping at the same time and like bumping the baby's head.
What
and
was the
he spit up?
Who was the pick?
I don't remember who the pick was.
My favorite thing about the draft is like the wives and girlfriends club.
Yes.
Typically the girlfriends club.
Yeah,
you
the
see the
girlfriends
look
club.
on their face.
Yeah.
My favorite's the Gia Duddy, Will Levis one where she's just looking real angry that
Oh,
hasn't
yeah.
been drafted yet or anything else. Like, oh, this is good. This is reality
the
TV.
Russell Wilson one
on
from
top.
like 12 years ago.
It's the best.
Yeah,
It
that was
circulates
good, too.
every year during the draft.
I just, and let's talk Shador. There are people that like Shador. There are people that don't like Shador. There are people that like Dion that don't like Dion. I actually try to put myself in his shoes last night. And I thought, oh my God, this has to suck. I mean,
yeah,
there have been, and I'll say this, he could be a 100% complete and total bust in the NFL, which, by the way, nothing to hang your hat. It's happened to 100, thousands of
Jamarcus Russell,
right? But for him to sit and have to watch everyone get drafted, to have to watch teams that need quarterbacks desperately go, nope. What happened? Was it this one tweet from an anonymous insider that said, worst interview I've ever seen. He was entitled, blah, blah, blah. Man, think about some of the guys that have been drafted in the first round that had legal issues, that had violence against, like, a lot of looking the other way. But for whatever reason, they said, no, I don't like the kid. Never been in trouble. Got a 3.1 GPA.
Yeah.
Got his number retired. Let's not forget that.
And I'll tell you, man, I think the way he's gotten treated in this is pretty rough. Now, you can use those critics as footstools. You can. And I think, listen, it remains to be seen whether he's an NFL talent or not, but that's true of every single guy that was drafted last night. Every single one. And I think about some of the guys that have gotten a lot of praise who have been a lot worse human beings than Shedeur Sanders, as far as we know.
But you also have to wonder how much his dad plays a factor in this whole
of
thing,
course.
and how much he's trying to navigate that. My other thing, too, is, Shedeur had quite the setup for his first-round draft party and everything
He
else.
did,
He was
which
trying
is
to launch
had
a
to go up and give
brand.
a speech, which is more embarrassing. And
Does he go back to that tonight? Like, what's the game plan on that room?
Man, it made my stomach turn because I think obviously the way, and that's not the way he's wired, but I think you have to play it a little bit more subtle when you get to the pros, right? You do, and you have to be subtle. Nobody wants to hear this, just
or a rookie making noise.
A rookie
that
making
much
noise,
in a-
100%.
I liked watching the product for the first couple of picks that I did see. I liked the cool tunnel that they had as the players walk from their tables with their families. It's like kind of a moment for them to like catch their breath as they're walking down this tunnel with all the teams listed, and they're walking down to the stage. All right, time to get ready to go on stage. And then Travis Hunter had to go do his press conference in the back there, and he's like about to answer a question. He goes, hang on, wait 1 second. And he was listening. He goes, oh, I thought that was Shedeur. He was waiting for his buddy to get picked, and it just didn't happen.
And you think about him in Colorado and what he was able to do with literally no offensive line, like none, and put up some good numbers. Matthew here says he's not a first-round talent. He's probably not a second-round talent. Man, I disagree because the kid was a top 5 pick until this week.
For sure.
So that tweet must have carried a tremendous amount of weight. And again, things go around the telephone game. You know how it works.
Yeah.
And listen, like 24 hours ago, if somebody said Shedeur wouldn't go in the first round, I think the three of us would be pretty surprised by that.
I would have been, but he'll be picked today. Somebody's going to take a chance on him. But again, hopefully a kid like that, if it was my kid, you know what I would tell him? Use all of this.
Yeah.
Wear that chip on your shoulder for the rest of your life.
And Deion's going to be great for
It's
that.
just going to make you better. It really will make you better. So we'll see how the second round of the draft plays out today. But yeah, man, some good players off the board. Pretty entertaining first round yesterday.
Well, that's your NFL draft.
There it
talk.
is. There we go.
Now I have a second story, but I'm going to hold it for a little bit because I want to make sure we get to our final story. Because earlier in the week, we played the clip that had gone viral of the Australian sisters,
Strap in.
Bridget and Paula Powers, and they were talking about how their mom came like face to face with this
gunman
who had wrecked a car.
Have you
nearby.
seen this, Julian? No, I'm looking it up on Twitter right now.
Okay,
It's
so
just Australian twins.
Yes, they
I
went
might get in trouble
viral
for that. Actually,
they went viral for
Mrs.
talking in unison at the exact same time.
They're identical twins, and
We
they
played
talk
it.
in
Ben
unison.
almost fell out of his chair laughing.
I did see that.
Yeah.
They were saying the same. Yeah.
I have an update to the story. They, of course, they go viral
Immediately.
worldwide, and they did another interview recently this week with a local station out in Australia, and they had to ask them about the talking in unison and all of it. Here you go.
We have tried to talk separately, but we're not ourselves.
Clearly,
wow.
Speaking in unison is a thing that you do. How?
Yeah, that's right.
How does this happen?
Well, it just happens, and we don't know why. But we have tried
Pause.
to talk separately, but we're not.
Pause. I'll tell you why. Because one sister mimics what the other sister does. You don't. That's why you do it, is because you start talking and I immediately follow
everything
that you say. Right.
And there we go.
That's why you do it. Purple says I'm going to stroke out again. Bro, me too.
Ourselves. It's not us, and it's very hard. And and we don't care about the critics. We tell people if they can't stand listening to us, simply just switch off the TV.
Do not switch off the TV.
Guys,
do
no.
not.
Do not say that. Okay, please, no.
I want to be clear on that. But sorry, how does it feel? Paula, I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you only to answer.
Oh, God.
Paula.
Here we go.
Okay, well, I'll try and answer as best as I can.
Okay, I can see Bridget trying to speak.
I also think it didn't feel right.
It's so. How do you know what is going on that means that when one of you speaks, the other one just instinctively has the same thing to say? What's going on?
Oh, guess what? I wish I could answer that question. It just happens.
It's
She's mimicking.
She's just mimicking what she's saying.
I love that line. If you don't like the way we sound, turn off the TV. If only they said radio, that could be our new slogan. If you don't like, well,
maybe they're on Cameo, but I love them in The Shining.
Yeah.
We tell people if they can't stand listening to us, simply just switch off the
radio. Yeah, there you go. That's Paulie. Can you add that to our open?
Yes.
And just leave it in our open for the show every day.
We tell people if they can't stand listening to us, simply just switch off the
radio. There you go. And now you have it. We have it forever. And we will keep that for the rest of our lives. It is. Beatrice says, I'm over these twins. Beatrice, I can't get enough of these.
I want more.
I want
delay.
more.
You know,
it's really incredible.
People go viral over the craziest.
Yeah, Hawk Tua.
thing.
I mean,
oh yeah,
we got a lot out of Hawk Tua. As we usually do.
I'm feeling the telepathy in here.
So stupid. It's so dumb. Tyler says, I hope they get on Cameo.
They're going to get a fortune out of the Ben and Woods program. I'll tell you that
right
right
now.
question. If they went on Cameo today and said $450, we'll have Cameo by Monday.
Start it. Hopefully they start like, hey, we'll do it for $69.
Right,
and we do it, get in early. Probably put a notification on your phone. So if they do join Cameo, then we can get a cameo from them. I can't get enough of them. I'm sorry. It makes my skin crawl, but anytime they're on, I'll be watching.
Is there any other info? Like, what do they do?
I have no idea.
I don't know a whole lot about them.
I have no idea.
Together.
Can we get them on the show? That would be great. So
Soon.
make some calls to
Australia.
So
Soon.
good. So good.
We tell people if they can't stand listening to us, simply just switch off the
radio. There you go. Such sage advice.
Just save $500 on that.
That's right. Just such sage advice. Thank you, Paulie, for the Rhino Report. Have you heard from Q yet?
Let me check.
Carlos Quentin.
He said he's here.
Oh,
1
he's here.
minute ago.
All right,
so we're going to go to break here in about a minute.
Yeah.
And then I get to go run down and grab it.
I want to tell you guys right now what he's going to be talking about. He's a little league coach. His dad, and obviously big baseball player. And talked to him yesterday on the phone. He's like, I want to tell you what I'm working on. And he's really, really passionate about it. It's mental skills for kids. And it's just an area that is so underserved, in my opinion. I know it is for the kids I coach, right? Baseball speeds up on you real fast. It really, really does. And this is a way, and I just loved his idea. I've heard a lot of pitches, man, over the years. And this one, I go, Q, you are really, really onto something too. And as big as baseball is in San Diego, and really all sports, I mean, it's for every single sport. And really, it's for life too. I'm going to let him tell you about it because he's much better at it than me. But Carlos Quentin will be joining the program live in studio. We'll talk some Padres baseball with him. When we come back.
Ben
right
and
here
Woods
on 97.3 The Fan. San Diego's number one sports station. 97.3 The Fan.
Carlos Quentin joins us in studio next.
Final hour of Ben and Woods on a Friday, 97.3 The Fan. I'm very happy that our next guest is here. He's in studio, and Padre fans, of course, will remember the great Carlos Quentin, who joins us live in studio. How are you, buddy?
Woodsy, thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, man. Good to see you. Look good. Look fit. What's that like?
Ditto.
Fitter than last time, maybe.
No, you're looking
I
great.
got a trainer.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the same. Trying to watch what I eat, track my macros a little bit.
I still don't know what a macro is. I really don't. And people have tried to explain it to me.
I did like a food thing that was like a macro based, and it really helped. And I still don't know what it is.
I still don't know how to explain it.
Can I try it?
You please. All right.
For the 100th time, macronutrient, basically protein, carb, or I'm gonna mess this up. Protein, carb, fat.
Protein, carb, fat.
And then they assign values to them and they multiply. It's better if your trainer gives you like a sheet that multiplies that, unless you're going to track it or not.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
I'm not going
Fair.
to.
Cheeseburgers don't fall into that.
Cheeseburgers aren't in there.
We'll get you a general category so you can press a button. Honestly, I thought about that as like, this would be easier if we just had it all assigned and I could talk into something.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Maybe something's up.
Well, you're looking good, man. It's funny. Carlos texted me the other day, and we've got to spend a little time together when the Padres did fantasy camp. When they did it locally, it was such a blast having you out there. I think he was, giving everybody advice on what to do. And
awesome.
It's good to see you again. It was great to hear from you. And what you're working on right now is, I thought, as soon as you started telling me about it, I go, dude, stop. We're good. Like, it's absolutely something our audience will want to hear about. We have a lot of parents in our audience. We have a lot of parents of athletes, but it's not just for athletes. So give us kind of your pitch on this thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what I've been working on since I got done playing. It's a reflection of kind of my story as a kid and my relationship with sports. I fully acknowledge I lived a kid's dream, right? Sometimes I kind of preface that with it doesn't feel like that sometimes. I always have to remember and remind myself how grateful and thankful I am for what I was able to achieve in the game. But to be frank, I was a young kid, grew up in Chula Vista, and honestly was identified early, and that identification kind of shifted my life and my life trajectory. And
how old were you when somebody came up to you and said, hey, dude, you've got kind of what it takes to get to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, it was to answer that question directly, I was probably 14.
God, wow.
And
then that change, you heard that news and you're like, okay, I dreamed about it. Maybe I'd never really thought it was possible. And you said it changed your life's trajectory. What happened there?
So listen, I was a big Hispanic kid growing up, right? I could do things on a field. My parents put me in every sport to keep me out of trouble. That's just they thought I'd get in trouble if I wasn't in sports. And I played Little League the minimal amount of time, like for a very short period of time. I was, I was 8. They're trying to pull me up to majors, right? One of those kids. My dad coached, wasn't like a baseball guy. He coached, so they couldn't pull me up to majors, right? I played 1 year majors when I was like 10. And then somebody here, I won't mention the name, but it was one of the first competitive baseball programs, which is still in existence and has a philosophy that I'm going to say I don't agree with.
Right.
Kind of plucked me out of my Little League. I never played All-Stars.
Wow.
I got plucked out and I got put with kids that were a year and a half older than me, maybe 2 grades older than me. So I never knew anything beyond just trying to survive in the game.
Yeah.
I got thrown in right field. I've been a right fielder, probably one of the only former big leaguers that never played shortstop.
Wow.
Because I was a right fielder since I was 10, because I didn't have 2 years of developing the skills to field a ground ball. Right. And then all of a sudden, once high school rolls around and puberty happens, you start playing with kids in your own class. And then someone, I think at the time, remember Baseball America?
Oh, yeah.
They're one of the only publications ranking players. Now you have it ranked, players are ranked all the way down to 8th grade.
Yep.
A publication came out maybe my freshman year. And, I had a good summer. And it ranked me like the number 1 15-year-old in the nation. I was only 14.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
And the world changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when did it, obviously there's pressure and you feel pressure and you obviously rose above a lot of that and were able to get to the big leagues and have a really good career. But when you're 15 years old and you're in a magazine, you probably start feeling yourself a little bit, right? And you probably start, for you, did it change like the way that you were? Did it change your attitude? Did it make it harder on you? Was there more pressure? Like, how did that play out?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, I'm trying to think back to like 14, 15-year-old me, right? And all the different things that I was experiencing, a lot of it all, right? I think what I remember the most was the transactional nature of it.
Yeah.
Right. And it wasn't even just like from how people looked at me that I didn't know. It's even like, people I loved and cared about me, they kind of, the lens shifts a little bit, right? It shifts a tick just because it's like, whoa, hang on. That's a big deal. And now opportunities presented, right? I don't know. I was pretty like pragmatic kid, like, just like any kid, you want to play in the big leagues.
Yeah.
But you also want to be a doctor because you played the game of life and they make the most money. Right. So you're just like going through life, trying to experience it. And all of a sudden there's like this tremendous opportunity, not just to, as a goal to go to college, which at the time, like my parents were hoping that maybe I could find a scholarship anywhere to prolong my education, but then you might have a chance to be financially sound for your family. It's interesting. So I think I kind of took it as like, this is a tremendous opportunity. I already had some work ethic built into me because, like I said, I was on a young kid on a team where I didn't know how good I was. I didn't think I was that good at all.
Right.
I was like in the middle. I was just trying to be in the middle. And then, from the social standpoint, imagine if you're a sixth grader and you have eighth graders or whatever, 2 years difference.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. So you're just sitting isolated on this team. And then you go to high school and you make varsity, which is great. No one knows you. I'm like, oh, this is fun. You're learning from older kids. And all of a sudden that happens and things shift. Right. So yeah, I guess I would say that, you're like, oh, I am a big deal. It feels good. But you feel this high that's kind of like, it's based on this one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it was your choice or whatever. Like, this isn't a sob story at all. It's just a reflection on what that experience is kind of like.
Well, and you had that experience, you make it to the big leagues, you have a great career. And then after, you're a dad and now you're coaching. And we had a conversation about this yesterday. Carlos and I did. Carlos Quentin joins us live in studio. And he asked me about my son, Bo, who's 7 and on fire for the game, just absolutely on fire. And I said, he's doing really well. He's very hard for me to coach and he doesn't really respond great to me, but he responds really well to others. And Carlos said, man, I'm going through the same thing. Now, if your dad's a big leaguer, former big leaguer, and you're not listening to him, why would you listen to me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing where, as a coach, I volunteer my time. I love the game. I'm on fire for the game. I think I know the game a little bit. But man, if your kid won't listen to you, how's my kid going to listen to me learning, trying to learn this game of baseball? And Carlos actually was really kind. And he's like, look, I've had the same problems, right? I think a lot of dads out there have that. And you've developed something. And I want to know, first of all, let's tell everybody what you developed and what you've been working on, because I think it's so valuable and it's such an underserved part of youth sports.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I know you asked that question. I didn't answer it. I'll say this in relationship to what I expressed. I built something that I would have liked to have when I was 10 years old.
That's it.
Wow. And that was something that could help me, I'll just say in general terms, with the mental side of the game.
Yeah.
But not just the mental side of the game, like the holistic development of my path in sports, to understand what was happening with me, as I reflect back, right? I'm a grown man and I'm still trying to kind of understand that when I was a kid.
Searcher, man. We all are. Yeah.
Right. And I think about, what I was taught later on in my life, from sports psychologists and people that I hired to help me with the mental side of the game. And honestly, like none of that stuff stuck. It never stuck or sticks, whatever. It never stayed with me. And I kind of go back to what I've tried to build is something that can get to kids early, that gives them the tools, and not just the tools, but the behaviors and the routines that they can start early that hopefully stick with them and later on in life.
Yeah.
Right. And it's about how do you prep for a game, but something actionable in their hands. That also includes parents, so that parents can see how they are developing, right? The data and the data visualization of all that all of what they're doing is provided for the parents, shared openly, right? And then, we can go into youth sports and everything about youth sports, the opportunities, the benefits, the issues, the problems, the concerns. The beginning of it is, how do you prep for a game to perform?
Right.
But also, how do you prep for a game to handle pregame anxiety and stress, which is a huge thing. If you're going to ask any professional athlete, we have it every single day before every single game or match or anything. There's a little bit of something probably before you go on the air, right? You're a high level performer in your field.
Oh,
right.
I flop sweat sometimes. Yeah.
You need a little bit.
Yeah. You got to have it
just so you have so you're ready. It's part of it, but you kind of brought it in and made it your own. The one question is, what is happening with a kid and how are they consuming it? So that's part of it. And then on the back end, as you build a routine that helps a young kid, it's the reflection side on the back end, right? The recovery side.
Yeah.
The recovery, which is what I think, at least for me, was the most important thing and has the most important opportunity, or the most beneficial opportunity for a young kid to kind of understand what's happening and share it with their parent.
Yeah.
So the parent has an idea of what's happening as well.
That's also that's something that wasn't
it just
taught
wasn't around
to us either. Like when I was a kid, it was maybe like, hey, cool down, stretch at the most.
The most. That's it.
Recovery, the word didn't exist in terms of
mental
youth athletics.
Mental skills were, quit being a baby and
sure.
Get up there and hack.
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, rub some dirt on
Drink
it.
from the hose.
So that's 100%. I'm a grown man, and I don't even know if I have established routines for any of this. I was playing the big leagues.
Yeah.
And I don't have established routines for this.
You hear about it all the time, and the great ones always talk about their routine. It's important. For these kids, man, I've loved it. I was saying on the air this week, I would quit my job if I could make what I make now to just go coach. I would do it. That's how much I love it. I love playing, and I love showing them, and I love watching kids improve most of all. But anything that can help them get their heads right a little bit, get their head right. And to be able to, we talked about it yesterday on the phone about, we all teach our kids how to brush their teeth. I know I can tell my kids now, go brush your teeth. I don't have to go in there and watch them. They have a routine. They know
feel the toothbrush.
Like, I know they're going to do it. How do we get this in kids, in our children to, it's not just for sports, because let's be honest, man, my kid's probably not playing in the big leagues. You know what I mean? But I want him to have the best experience he can. And I want it to be fun. It's hard. Dads, moms, whatever. We don't look at them as 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. We're like, I want you to perform. I want you to want to perform, all of that stuff, right?
And the technology is finally there.
It's finally there.
Because I feel like when you were a kid playing baseball, there's no iPads, there's no apps, there's no conversations even social media at that point hadn't taken off.
Right.
I feel like
it's such a great point. I mean, listen, I think we all kind of understand as parents, what can happen with social media, with screens and everything. We want to limit it and have our kids adopt it at a certain rate and in a positive way. But it's also a tremendous opportunity if you compare it with something, if you can compare it and collaborate with something that a young kid cares about and is motivated to use it. So the question really comes down to if I know sports is that big in my son's life, right, or my child's life, and I can use that motivation to bring a good behavior in, then technology is doing its job in an effective way, right? And that's an opportunity if the system and the tools are built there for you. And to say one thing, Woodsy, about being a parent, my son, I failed him, and I won't get too much into this because I'll break down here because it's very meaningful.
Yeah,
I feel like I failed him early on because I was transitioning, and I inherently, from what I did, whether I want to acknowledge it or not, have just a whole bunch of information, especially about hitting in my head.
Of course.
I was helping a buddy's son in high school, and I start talking to him, and I'm like, geez, just stuff comes out of me.
I know, dude. Right.
And I'm like, whoa, what did I just say? Right. And I'll say, as a former big leaguer, I have the capacity to get my son a bunch of information.
Just vomit it on him, right? And how does he process it?
But I have just as much of a potential to ruin it.
Correct.
Because of the intensity.
Yes.
And my experience. I was trained to go compete at a high level, as you all know that, but I was trained to go compete in an environment where it was cutthroat.
Yeah.
I am playing for bread on my table, and there is no room for error.
Right.
Absolutely none. And that's Think about bringing that to a young kid.
Yeah, he's 8, 9 years old. And you're like,
you were 14 when you found out. That
Right.
this is
You know how many
like-
times I've told my son, like, hey, son, I just don't smile that much. Wow. I just don't.
Yeah.
And that's who I am.
That's who I am.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And just know I'm proud of you. And when you do something good, like, you know, kids feel energy.
Yeah.
If I'm just telling you, just trust that I believe that you have done something so well and that I'm just like, I'm programmed like a robot.
Yeah.
To some degree.
It's so tough. I'm to the point now. I was hitting my little guy grounders before the game the other day, and he kind of played it off to the side. And all I did was I cocked my head and I gave him a look because that's not what he does. And his head hung like that. And then we were in the spiral. We were in the spiral. From that moment on, he couldn't get back, you know, and he ended up playing a really nice game, but it was pregame and he looked at me. I gave him one head tilt. That's it. I did not say one word, and he head went down, and now he's upset.
Yeah.
And I went, oh my God. Like we talked about failing our kids. It's so fascinating. I want to tell you guys the name of the app. We're going to take a quick break. And then, so check it out. If you're able to do it right now, it's called Before the Field.
It's called Before the Field.
Before the Field. It's on the App Store. I downloaded it last night. I want to talk about the functionality and the purpose behind it and all that next when we come back. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Carlos Quentin joins us live in studio. We will be right back.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
It's 97.3 The Fan. The people in chat are absolutely loving this discussion that we're having with Carlos Quentin right now, and I am too. It's obviously the journey that I'm on right now with my kids, and really just being a dad and with sports and all that. You guys hear me talking about it all the time. So good and refreshing to hear it from somebody that's done it at the highest level, certainly, and that's Carlos Quentin. Joins us in studio. We got Julian Delgatoio hanging out from Fox 5 as well, and so this app that you have been working on. I downloaded it last night. It's called Before the Field. And I'm so in support of it, in favor of it, because we all want the best for our kids, right? That's really what it boils down to. And we want our kids to have happy, meaningful lives. And we want them to be okay and well-balanced as they can possibly be. And it's something that keeps me up at night, right? When you see your kid get down, they're down in the dumps, they really can't express why. It just rips your heart out as a parent. And then you think about and you talk about, the times that you failed your son. I have failed my kids so many times, and it truly has taught me what unconditional love is, truly, because I have gone to them and said, I am the worst, and I'm sorry, and I love you, and I'll, we're together and whatever. And they're like, no problem. Cool. Yeah. It's just like, it's
funny. I had a text from my dad this morning apologizing for something he said on the phone yesterday that I have no recollection.
Right.
And I was like,
yeah,
what?
Yeah.
What are you talking
It's
about?
just this
It's
weird
like there's
thing.
this-
And as a parent, like, it's never going to go away. So what can we give our kids? And that's the thing. And I want people to understand this too. I don't want to speak for Carlos, but he's not in here trying to make machines, right? Of like, let's get these kids functioning at the highest level of Little League baseball. No, that's not what it's about at all. Not even in the slightest. And I knew that when I talked to you, and I heard you talking about your passion for it. And then I knew it when I downloaded the app and started playing with my son on it last night. These are tools for life, right? Life beyond the field. It's called Before the Field. You can download the app. It's incredible. But it's also beyond the field is another way you could look at it, because this can be applicable in their whole lives.
100%, Woodsy. To give you just a little of the background on how it was built, right? And there's a lot of ideas in here coming from myself, my own experience. There's some combinations of learning about how do you develop things on the tech side. But there's a little behavioral science behind it, right? And I was introduced to some of it. Cognitive behavioral therapy is the backbone of modern day sports psychology. That's what's kind of the default. It's used at the highest levels. And to give you kind of that background, it's just simply like you control your thoughts, you control your emotional state. And when you're playing, you have to have positive self-talk, right? So you can make that the equivalent. This is a little different here. It's a different behavioral science. It's called acceptance commitment therapy. It has a different kind of program as far as trying to hone like psychological flexibility. And I'm going to leave out some of all these terms, but basically Before the Field's trying to do is build the first pillar of that. And that's the self-awareness about who that person's becoming, using values and really trying to associate values to the field. So what value, one of the biggest questions we always ask an athlete as they're interacting with it, say on like a post-game log, is what value did you represent on the field?
Yeah. Were you a good teammate? Did you exhibit compassion? Did you exhibit frustration? Right. Like, which is normal and okay. But just log it and know it and grow from it.
I'm using this with my little league team. I use it with my kids. One of the things is exactly that was you log it. It's supposed to be quick. And then you reflect it back to the kid so that, and then you can ask this question, and I don't think, I haven't used it as a kid, but I can kind of tell you now after I've been exposed to understanding some of that science of how important it is to understand who we are. I can ask my son, what are your top 3 values?
Yeah.
And if he doesn't know it, here they are. I want you to know these when I ask you that question.
Right.
Or I can ask a kid on my team, what are your top 3 values? It's been tracked. It's there. And this is your top 3 values in sports, whether it's compassion, empathy, self-control, work ethic, right? And these are all words that associate with what the intangibles are for sports, high achieving professionals, what we want our kids to build on, right? Because we understand without these things, they success it minimizes, right? And to make them self-aware, I believe, is a positive thing. And it is the first step to then, harnessing any type of stress they're experiencing, is that perspective that they build gives them the opportunity. So, in that framework, we're asking that question. We're trying to pull apart, and understand stress has negative and positive connotations, right? they feel, if we don't look at the positive side of the excitement side, the part that allows you to be ready to get into a state to perform and understand that that's a good thing, then we may just experience it negatively. Like, I don't like this feeling. Right. So we don't want to use that word stress, but we want to say excitement versus nervousness, right? We can understand that a little bit in that dynamic, bring that into play, and then try to, and I'm really, what I'm describing to you, Woodsy, is the post-game log. That is really important. How I felt about how I played, actually there's two questions. How did I do? And how did I feel about it? Right? How did I think the kind of world thought I did? Did I feel good about it?
You ever have those games where you perceived how you played differently than maybe others would?
100%.
Yeah.
I think like all the time.
Right?
And bringing that into play asking a kid that is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that I'll be honest. When we spoke yesterday, as a parent receiving this information, one, do I have a mechanism to do it?
Right.
And then two, what are the kind of my looking at to kind of like come up with my own answers if I don't have that mechanism? And that's kind of my observation of how they performed, of how they took in the game, their actions beforehand, the actions after, are they in the game when they gotta want it? Are they paying attention?
Yes.
All those things,
All
right?
those things.
And when I brought this in, my son's been using it since I've been developing it. It's strange. The first year he did it, it was a high stress year. He was still learning and acquiring skills, as his dad, I was teaching him how he had to work and outperform other kids that were in front of him.
Right.
And, I thought I knew what his experience was. And what was strange and kind of just eye-opening was when I handed him this thing and I could see it over time, I was wrong 50%
You didn't
of the time.
know.
I
You
didn't know. I'm his dad. I'm coaching.
You watched, you're coaching, you're there every second, and you still don't know.
Half the time, I just thought I was wrong. And I was like, okay. And just knowing that, like, okay, what's next? It's not really like what's next. It's like understanding that I need to I'm probably wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe ask some more questions.
Right.
And have more understanding and patience. Right. Because, that's all we can do as parents is kind of see how our kids are responding to the environment, right? How their performance is, where are they hitting, right? How the teacher is communicating, what are their grades, right? What other things do we have that can help us just understand their development?
Is
right?
it weird that I'm going to use this for adult league baseball? At 49 years old, I was looking at it last night. We did the little meditation. I go, there's no way this doesn't help me for my game on Sunday. There's no way it doesn't. I'm 49 years old. I'm going to use it as well. Let's take another quick break. Last one of the day. We'll come back. We got a long segment. I want to talk some baseball with Carlos. I want to continue talking about this app and the development of it and how we can get people involved and how they can start using it tonight, with their kids and getting them ready for their games this weekend or whatever it may be. So we'll be right back. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Back, Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. What an enlightening conversation we're having with the great Carlos Quentin, who joins us live in studio this morning, talking about the app that he's been working on for the last couple years. We'll get right back into it after a quick check of traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, the freeways are winding down pretty nicely all around the county, except we have now got an overturn crash near the border. This is southbound 5 near Camino de la Plaza. This vehicle is on its roof, not showing if any lanes are blocked, but just watch out for a little activity if you're heading toward the border. Southbound 5, again, that crash is near Camino de la Plaza. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It always makes me happy we can do something like this. I was just showing Q a message I got from one of our tier ones, Robert. He says, dude, you have no idea how much I appreciate this conversation about Carlos's new app. It's called Before the Field. Yesterday was a rough sports day. We're a very open, supportive mental health family, but this is just another helpful tool. And that's what it is. As a parent, you are looking to fill that belt with as many tools as you can get to help your kids have it better than you did, and better than I did, and better than we did collectively. And that's really what it's all about. It's not about getting them the best bat, getting them the best gloves. It's about, how do I build the best person? That's what I really want to do. Obviously every father's dream is to be sitting in the stands at Petco Park and your son gets his first knock and there's Bob Scanlon with his perfect hair. He's interviewing you. Oh, Woodsy. Oh my gosh. Look at that. How proud are you? Oh my God. I'd be weeping. It's everybody's dream. The odds of that happening are so minuscule, but
Carlos did it.
But Carlos did it. Right. And the thing is like, how do you as a dad take that and have that same pride and appreciation for just the life that they're living, the person that they've become? That's really what it's all about. And I love this app, and the tier ones, our listeners, are already downloading it and going to use it with their kids. So Carlos, great work, number one, with this thing. And what's kind of what's the next step? What's the future of the app, as it were?
Yeah.
Because I don't mean to cut you off, but there's as I get into more of this, and you can speak more to it, all I keep seeing and hearing is about, oh, you're going to have such a miserable time in travel ball if they wanted it. Like, I say it about big league announcers sometimes, and I'm like, why do they have a guy that played in the big leagues that is calling a big league game that hates Major League Baseball as it's played today? That's not the best way to market. That's not the best way to market your business. You've got some, I don't name names, but they're like, these guys are terrible and there's too much change.
Back in my day, we'd never
done this. And I'm like, buddy, you're supposed to be selling me this product and you're doing a poor job at it. All I see, travel ball sucks and travel ball this and travel ball that and baseball and Little League. And I've been party to it. There's issues, right? There's issues with everything. But, as you develop this app, what is like the bigger picture?
Yeah, no, thanks, Woods. I appreciate it. I agree with exactly what you just said, right? Like, there is this kind of, look at this youth ecosystem for young kids.
Yeah.
You got 60 million kids playing sports between the age of 7 and 17. And there's all kinds of things I think we could agree. We could talk for hours about different issues and problems and potential solutions, right? I think that's kind of the missing ingredient is what are potential solutions?
That's it right there. Because there's bad actors in Little League Baseball. There's bad actors in travel ball. There's bad actors in youth basketball, in youth lacrosse, in youth hockey. There's bad actors everywhere, and they're always going to be. But what are the solutions to, I don't know, weed some of those guys out, develop kids into loving the game, playing the game the right way, whatever it may be?
So I'll briefly kind of like maybe describe it this way. And I don't want to describe it negatively, but I want to also express it as the opportunity. Sports is the most influential thing in our culture.
Yes.
It is globally probably the most important thing that it captures attention. If you don't agree with that, look at the contracts that are being provided for players.
Look at the prices of tickets to games.
This is a limited, a kind of 32 teams, 30
teams in the big league.
Thank you. Sorry. Still don't know how
former
wide.
big leaguer, by the way.
You asked me how wide the plate is. I didn't care. It's just like that's where they're going to throw it.
I'm going to try to hit it.
I'm going to hit it.
That's
I tell
right.
so many hitters, forget about where it is. Look in the middle of the plate.
Try to
just
pound it.
Own it.
26-man roster for 30 teams.
That's right.
Bigger bases.
25.
I don't know. So I'm sorry, you guys. I'm learning. I pay attention.
You know this? They got a pitch clock.
I don't know where it starts yet. I just don't. It's foreign, but I'm not going to judge it.
Do you like the pitch clock, or is that just does it feel?
You would hate it as a hitter. You'd hate it, right?
It's an interesting one. I look at the longer approach of the game's shorter, so that would have saved my knees.
That's good,
right?
Yeah,
yeah. And I'm an
and he gets you those getaway days. My God, those things drag. You're like, dude, we got to get on a plane.
I mean, I'm as a player that was hurt, that played hard, but also took a lot of a physical toll on my body. I'm like, I could see how that would help a player like me, and how if I was playing, that would be beneficial. And at the end of the day, you want to keep the players on the field.
Yeah.
Because this big entity, like I was saying, this thing is massive, which means there's a ton of different money behind it. These are businessmen. They're making decisions appropriately. But then look at the influence it has all the way down to the youth level, right? And that's a good thing if you can harness just how important it is in their lives, right? So this is just, I'm trying to describe something that is so influential for young kids that we also have a huge opportunity to address that. This is why, as you say, what is the next steps for before the field? First, coming on here, there's still features we're building out, right? This is an early rollout that we're going to start. This is pre-rollout.
Yeah.
It's live because I've always wanted it there, and it's been tested with young kids. It started with partnerships with USD, UCSD, Stanford, Mercer University, coming directly from D1 athletes. This is the foundation. So there's kind of two versions. One's for olders, right? For 14 and up. And the other one's kind of called Before the Field Kids. So internally, there's Before the Field Core, Before the Field Kids, so that every kid has access to it. 14 and up goes all the way through college, right?
And
that's
adult ball.
And adult ball for you.
Don't forget about Bolo and Rec League,
Before the Field Kids is the one that I'm trying to get to all the other kids. I feel like it can have the most impact.
We both live in Encinitas. Yeah. Our kids both play in ELL. It's 600 kids, 630 kids sign up for Little League Baseball. Are you kidding me? This is an underserved area of the game. right now, period, the end. It just is. And down the street in ENLL, there's 300 kids, 900 kids. They all have brothers and sisters. Everybody wants to play. It's bananas. And this part of it, you know, I'm just afraid, like coaches, we as the dads, the volunteer coaches that didn't play in the big leagues, you know, we're at a disadvantage in that we don't really know I don't know how to run drills the right way. I mean, all of this stuff can help our kids just be better people. And as I used it last night with my son, my one critique was that it needs more slang. Honestly, like you have to have like skibbity riz in there. Yeah, because my kid, he's looking at it and he started to click one and I go, no, did you feel good or bad? He goes, I felt good. I go, it's this one over here. And you know, he's 7, he's learning to read. It's for a little bit older kids. But I said, man, if you put some, like when I asked him the other day, hey, do you want to go take grounders? He goes, bet. He said it. He said, bet. And I go, where are you getting this stuff from? Right.
man.
And so honestly, like it's very easy to use. It's very easy to maneuver around. It's really, really cool. And I think it's a brilliant idea.
Woodsy, I think that feedback itself, right? These are the challenges of the actual company. One, if you're going to go check it out, please, by all means do. We're still building it out, right? We're still building parent hubs so you can connect with families and share it with family members so they see how the experience is happening.
Yep.
Right. The child will always drive the ship. The athlete will always drive the ship. That's their experience. So you're trying to support that. But going back to what you were just saying, like, if the system's in place, we can add things that make it fun for kids.
Right.
We have leaderboards for kids if they're on a team, right? This connects from the parent to the coach. So you have two people there as connection points, and then the kid drives the ship, right? So they can have a leaderboard. There's gamifications, right? There's freezes, there's streaks. If there's slang that makes it even more fun,
yeah,
that's great. There's meditation exercises that create a system, right? You're trying to create systems around routines, around games and practices, right? To prep and then to recover.
The recovery thing was awesome. I mean, it was really cool. We were playing with that, and it was, how did you feel? Was it challenging to you? Those are the things that I think, again, yeah, I mean, everyone had a little pregame routine. Your dad would teach you, or your buddy would teach you. The postgame, nothing. Like Paulie said, absolutely nothing. Get on the bus. Get back to where you're going. Get your Capri Sun, get your snacks, and coach is going to yell at you for a minute, and then we're done. Yeah. And there's nothing after. There's no resource like that.
Bro, that carried me into through my 20s.
Right.
I wasn't good at stretching after workouts or anything like that.
Or I watch a couple guys, follow a couple guys on Instagram too, and they make their kids, their D1 players journal. They journal. And it's like, I mean, at 49, I wish I was better at journaling because I think it's so valuable and important. And if you can get your kid to, after a game, want to run home, get on his iPad, because we don't give our kids a lot of screen time, but any chance they get to be on their iPad, they're all in favor of it, right? Hey, man, go log your game, or, have them want to be like, Dad, I can't wait to get home and log my game and let you know how I felt. I think that is just brilliant. Brilliant.
I mean, you hit on it. As a human being, one of the most beneficial things you can do is journal, right? Because it's just reflecting back and understanding and processing, right? And you can argue that this is kind of a quick, hopefully interactive journal for a kid, right? That shares the information with the parent in a certain way so that they can see it over time and see trends, right? And, whether you try it out now or you try it out in the future or not, I pray that what's the future, that it's there for you at any time you need it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do need it, sometimes you don't. And I'll give you just, as on a personal side, right? My son, he plays soccer too. And he had a tough soccer game. And, I'm going to try to just keep this and, keep myself okay here. When he got done, I wasn't there. He was with my wife. He was fired up, got in the car, and he asked for the app.
That's sick.
And
that's great.
If I went down this path for that one moment, then it's fucking worth it.
That's worth it. Yeah,
sorry,
that's worth it. No, it's fine. We'll dump it. No, it's absolutely worth it. It's absolutely worth it. I think. Again, I think it's called Before the Field. Everybody out there should check it out. Got a few minutes left with Carlos here for the week, but man, when you look back at your big league career, you talk about your injuries. I know you're banged up a lot, but like, how much of this did you use Or were you like, did you journal stuff? Or were you like, I'm going to show up. I'm going to play as hard as I can. Like, how much could this have helped Carlos Quentin when he was in the big leagues?
So I can only speculate, right? Part of this whole thing is, could this possibly be a thing? Could you, like, nowadays, this is how you warm up. And this is how you, like, at least for professional, you go to the cold tub and this is how you recover. Right. Can you do that with your mind to manage the stress so that you are ready and fully mentally recharged to come back?
Were you a stressed out dude when you played?
100%. And as I kind of look at this, I'm like, I believe, inside, like, as we come all the way full circle, that I built this for 10-year-old me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And
that's prolific, man. That's prolific.
That is like, this is what I live the kid's dream. So you can walk it all the way back.
Yeah.
Right. Like it should have been this joyous ride. And I don't want to go into it because this is not a sob story. Like, I am so happy to be what I did, allows me to speak with you beautiful people.
Sure.
Here. But I also got to acknowledge just what that was like. And this is my passion and what I want to help with. I have 2 kids in playing sports. I'm trying to understand them just like any other parent, trying to help trying to help the ecosystem, trying to help the environment.
Yeah, man.
And then when I played, like, there's a couple things about me that got me where I as far as I did. And then those things I would say worked completely against me at the end.
Wow.
Right. And that was one, like, I had tremendous, I just like any high-level pro, I had good work ethic. Okay. And then I had like a football player mentality where I fought every pitch, every at bat in the box. Like, I was fighting, there was a picture of me from college and there was no smile. You could probably look it up from, it's a Stanford biopic, and it has me looking at it like I'm going to smirk, like I'm about to get in a fight.
Yeah.
And I said 2 things. Okay. You have to have a fighter's mentality to go through and deal with the failure and keep going. Right. Everyone is good. You get to college, even high school now, everyone is good.
Yeah.
Everyone has skills.
Yeah.
What will get you further is probably between your ears.
That's it.
And if you're going to fight, that was the fighting mentality, right?
That's it.
Now, I'll say on the other side, as I look back, I didn't have a recovery. I didn't have any recovery mechanism. I ruminated on the game.
Yes.
I overworked my body.
Yep.
I broke it. Right. There's things now as I look back, like, I talk to, when I coach my team, I talk about fighting and competing. Right. And seeing that and being fine with any result, but knowing that deep down I fought and competed, and then doing it again.
Yeah. Do it
over
again
and over.
the next day.
And then I end every practice and every game with like, okay, I've been real. I've coached you. Thank you for letting me coach you.
Yep.
One. Now you're more valuable than anything you could ever do on this field.
It's
to
so
your family,
rad,
to your parents, remember that.
That's so good.
And I just say that because, like, honestly, sometimes I wish I would have had that when I was a kid.
No doubt.
But sometimes it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But if I was a coach, I was just like, say it over and over.
Yeah, coaches they're different.
Yeah.
That's a different mentality than it used to be.
I'm curious about like what a major league manager would tell you about the mental side of everything.
You guys will have to talk about that off air because we only have like 30 seconds left.
Carlos, I can't count how many times in the chat, text messages, DMs already this morning that people have been like, can we have this regularly?
Yes.
They want more Carlos Quentin on Ben and
buddy.
Woods.
I told you.
So we got to make this happen again, man.
I appreciate you guys' time.
Yo,
Let me
this
talk
was like
about this.
therapeutic.
It was rad. It was rad.
He's preaching.
It was really, really special. It was one of my favorite hours we've ever done. I can't believe it's already over, but we will be back Monday. Ben will be back in studio. I want to thank Carlos Quentin, Julian Delgatoio from Fox 5. You guys were incredible.
That was a fun show,
made our listeners so happy. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Go Padres. Let's beat the Rays. And we'll talk to you guys Monday morning at 6 a.m. Full crew back together. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Have a great weekend.